Yo, what up? It's your boy Mike Rashid. Check me out on the Bootleg Kev podcast.
Bootleg Kev podcast special guest in here, Mike Rashid. Welcome.
What's up, sir? Thanks for having me.
Of course. For people who don't know, you're obviously, a mogul, I would say.
I don't know the definition of a mogul.
Well, describe kind of like what you do, man, because you do a lot. Like,
Right.
There's so many things that you do.
I'm a professional boxer, even though I'm not fighting right now, but the right offer comes across, I'm on it. I love fitness, working out. I worked out my entire life, even different like phases of my life. Like when I was in the streets, I still worked out. You know what I mean? Every group of friends that I've had, I was a ringleader, getting everybody in the gym my entire life. And now, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. I own businesses. I have a sports nutrition business or supplement business. That's
Kevin Gates was speaking about your ambrosia pre-workout.
Yeah, he's with us. That's my spiritual brother right there. Shout out to Kev.
Yeah.
So I got ambrosia. We got the #1 plant-based protein in the country. It's crazy. I have a healthy snack company called Snack House Foods. I own a chunk of one of the most successful meal prep delivery companies called Trifecta.
Wow.
We're killing it. Going public soon. Shout out to Greg. Yeah, and I got like things I do on the digital side. Like I have an app for online training and challenges.
Your YouTube channel is great.
YouTube is popping. You know, I love YouTube, man. That really was the catalyst for success across all my businesses.
Yeah.
Is YouTube.
Yeah, I feel like you are very consistent with I feel like, you know, people do workout videos, and obviously you do interviews, you do just motivational shit, but even just your workout videos are a lot more palatable than like some of the like typical YouTube shit you'd see. If that makes sense? They're like more aesthetically like, I could watch this and like.
You know why? Because you're a hip hop dude, right?
Right.
I'm a hip hop dude. So, you know, people won't realize why they was liking my videos, but it was like I used to rap, right? And the same people that was doing my beats and my videos back then were doing my beats and videos for the fitness stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Is Amir Perry doing your stuff?
Yeah.
Shout out to Amir. Hey, real
Amir.
talk. I was growing up in Phoenix. I remember he had a situation with Suave House.
Yep.
And he was like one of the local guys who like always, it was like him, Poker Face. Like there's like a few guys who had like national looks. Mm-hmm. This
Amir's
is prior to the
super.
Man Up. Well, this is around Man Up Squad.
This is when, he had his deal already, but we put together Man Up Squad right around that time.
Yeah, well, let's get to, so just so you know, I met you when I was like an intern at Power.
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Back.
Now, for people who don't know, I'm originally from Phoenix, and there was you were a really poppin' artist in Arizona. You went by Sin Q, and there was a group which was kind of crazy. Like if it really would have worked out the way it was supposed to work out, Man Up Squad.
Yeah.
It was like you, Willie North Pole, Hot Rod.
Amir.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm missing someone else.
We were the core people.
Was Phrase in that?
Phrase was in it, but then we had a thousand like just guys that was just wanted to be down too.
Yeah, and it was like one of the only times where I felt like in Phoenix there was like a real movement that like was like, oh shit, like imagine if all the dopest people in your city came together and like rolled in unison, and yeah, it was dope. It was a dope moment.
We got some magic, bro. We got some songs from back then that still, if it was to come out right now, would slap. Shit that nobody even heard. You know what I mean? Because we never really put music out. You know, like people knew us. We hadn't put music out as a collective, right? Everybody had their solo projects, but you know, I take a lot of the responsibility for things coming apart because, you know, I was doing illegal things, and you know,
you got locked up, right?
Yeah. I was on the run for a long time. So basically, like with me, like I was selling drugs. I was selling weed, which is legal now, but you know, wholesaling it to the East Coast, to New York, Atlanta.
A lot of guys in AZ were doing that.
Oh yeah,
a lot of guys on the hip hop side.
Right. Oh no, for sure. You already know. You already know. So I know some of them through that, right? But my life, I'm so authentic. I was being authentic all the way across the board. You know what I'm saying? So I'm making money here, but I'm doing other things in the streets that I probably shouldn't have been doing. You know what I'm saying? And it all caught up to me. So, you know, a lot of violence, and Arizona, it's a huge state, but it's small.
Everybody knows each other.
and the cops know everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
They're bored, man.
They're bored. You know, they know everything to a T because not only do they know everything, but literally everybody out there is snitching, like 100%. 100%. They was going so hard on me, I had to hire an investigator to find out what was really going on because I thought maybe there was some other secret indictment. You know what I'm saying? Because there was
some other shit might have been coming down.
Yeah, I was nervous.
Damn,
bro.
something like they got a hard on from me for some reason.
They did. And when they got me, I had no priors. So come to find out, there was people that I was around, pretty big people, you know what I'm saying, that had major cases that were throwing me under the bus. You know, even it was like hearsay stuff because I kept everybody out of my business. You know what I'm saying? My operation was small. Oh.
Is that my phone or your phone?
Nah, that's yours.
Jesus, Siri.
Mine don't talk English, so.
Hey, take my phone, bro. I need Siri picking up what we're doing. It's on silent. That's weird. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, but so anyway, we found out that, you know, I like everything. Like people, they would always ask about me, and people would give their opinion on what I was doing. And one of the guys, I ain't gonna say his name, I looked out for. We caught cases around the same time, but his was state and federal. He was done for, but he worked with them. But he came over recording me with in a key fob, a microphone and a key fob.
Was this a person on the scene in Phoenix at the time?
No comment. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Was it a DJ?
Nah.
Okay.
But anyway, so they heard me saying really bad things. You know what I'm saying? Because we trying to figure things out. And I'm like somebody snitching, and you know what comes with that. So it was stuff that was not admissible in court, but it seasoned the perspective or the perception of my prosecutor. You know what I'm saying? And they try to use Man Up Squad as a gang, and they say I was a gang leader. Kind of like this shit they're doing with the
YSL, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So but I was like, oh, fuck that. So I had to have a whole like trial to prove, they had to prove that I am a gang leader and Man Up Squad was a gang, and they didn't have nothing on it because they gotta show that there were 2 or 3 felonies committed in the name of the organization to certify it as a gang. And peep this shit's fucked up. Now, first of all, when they put a gang injunction on you, most people don't try to fight it.
Right.
And most people say, yeah, I'm in such and such gang. They just fuck themselves.
Right.
So anyway, that's an additional 10 years on top of anything that happens.
If you're considered in a gang.
If you have a 2-year burglary, you're getting 12 years.
Just because you're in a quote unquote gang.
Right.
Wow.
Targeted shit, you know what I'm saying?
And it's crazy because, like, you know, if you think about like a guy like Hot Rod, he was like a mortgage guy before he was rapping.
Yeah, a lot of the guys were not involved in anything. Some of them. Amir, that's like my brother right there, man. But
great producer, man.
Great person all around. He separated himself, and I'm glad that he did because the people that I was really like were really friends of mine. They just seen the direction, and they was just like, I ain't with that shit, and I'm glad they did. And so you know, at the end of the day, it was just me standing there. You know what I'm saying? But I handled it like a man. I did run for a minute.
How long were you on the run?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
So give me the year to year, like
2007, 6 years. 2007, everything happened. I caught 2 cases, one in 07, one in 08. In 07, it got kind of like dismissed, but without prejudice, so they could bring it back, right? It was really a weak case, you know. Then so I'm out, you know. In 08, I caught another case. And I'm trying to like, at this point, I'm trying to really like straighten up, you know what I'm saying? Actually in 07, I was trying to straighten up, but it was like, people always say when you're making that kind of money, fast money, like I'm gonna get X amount and then get out. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying?
You get it. I mean, yeah.
It's. I'm sure it can happen, but it's really hard. You know what I mean? Because it comes so fast. You spin it just as fast as you get it because you know you can get it again. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck, I just got to keep getting it. And me fighting cases was expensive. So I'm fighting cases, ankle bracelet, still trapping. You know what I'm saying? So 08, caught another case. They came and got me. I had a bunch of guns in my house, and they brought both cases back simultaneously so they can get me on felony release with weapons. So they tried some slick shit, pulled me over in the middle of the street. It was so over the top. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shotguns and shit. But, you know, you go through the horseshoe and you see the judge in 24 hours, And she was like, okay, well, she's about to say the bond. And this fucking woman on the side, like, actually, Your Honor, he doesn't get a bond. He's a dangerous, violent felon. These are serious crimes, and he has all of these guns. It's like AKs. You know, in Arizona, that shit legal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it just looked bad.
Yeah, I don't
even
think it was as legal back then though as it is now. Because now it's like
it was super legal.
It was
then.
legal, but
yeah.
I think now like
okay, I know what it is. It's a law that they got that saved my life called Stand Your Ground. No, Castle Doctrine. That's
Okay.
what it's called. They didn't have it when my shit happened, right? Because everything that happened in my house. You know what I'm saying? You know, so, but I was gone for so long. By the time they got me, they had that law.
So if you're on the run, so you find out you're essentially going to looking at serious time.
Yeah.
And you decide to just say, fuck it.
So listen, I live life. Life don't live me. Nothing happens to me. You know, and I'm not like saying that in an egotistical way, but I will not allow somebody else to determine my fate. It's not happening. And I didn't feel like what they were trying to get, if they would have said like 3 years, 5 years, I would be like, all right, this is about 15 and 20 years with no priors.
That's crazy.
I'm like, this ain't happening. So you mean to tell me my kids are going to be adults when I get out? Nah, I'm cool. And, you know, and people don't realize with a violent offense, especially something of the nature of mine, you're in a way worse type of facility. It's gladiator school. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I know I'm going to be in there having to defend myself, catching more cases. So it just looked bleak. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm out of here.
So where'd you go?
All over. You know what I'm saying?
All over the country? Did you end up leaving the country?
I left the country for a minute. And then like me, you know, I stayed in communication with my children and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I went on a run so they won't separate me from my kids.
But you're separating yourself from your
separated
kids.
from my kids. So I came back and you know, I came back. Everybody figured that I would have got caught by then, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't move reckless. I calculate everything. I study everything. I was a valedictorian student all my life. You know what I'm saying? Honor student, all of that shit. So I just did research and seeing what I can do, what NCICS, whatever that shit's called, what do they track, everything. I looked up everything. So I moved around. So when I got back, people did think that I was gonna got caught by then. And then some of my friends, they were like, yo, you could stay with me when you could come back. I'm like, cool. But when I came back, it was a surprise to them. So they was like, I don't know. And rightfully so, because this shit probably wasn't 100%, you know what I'm saying? And I'm bringing heat to them. So it didn't even bother me. I'm glad that no one allowed me to come stay because it just put a certain type of motivation, lit a certain fire under me. So I was legit homeless for a minute, bro. And peep this, I'm homeless, right? I still had shit in the streets, like whips and shit like that. Other people subleasing it. And like motherfuckers was talking shit. People that was nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? So I was at a crossroad. I was, you know, full of fear, full of anger, full of confusion. You know what I'm saying? When you got nothing, I have nothing, right? It looked like I don't have a future. Only thing I had was like violence and physical force and intimidation. So I'm like, I'm gonna just go to my default settings and I'm knocking on doors. So I really was about to like go back to Arizona, you know what I'm saying? And just ruin my life. But
so when you came back into the country, you were in Cali?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't.
Because if you would have went to Arizona, you would have just started
I would have been a
making your rounds.
For what? Nothing comes out of that.
Yeah.
So what stopped me was my son, you know what I'm saying? His mother, who's very smart, she made a weird call and was like, hey, you want your son? And here I am. She don't even realize I'm homeless. Nobody knew that shit, right? I'm like, yeah, I didn't know how I was gonna take him or whatever, but I figured that shit out. So that saved my life, you know what I mean? And it was one day, I started getting my shit together. I'm taking him to school, then I have a car, I'm walking, and he little, like 6.
Right.
Kindergarten, maybe something like that, or first grade. So I'm walking to school. When he comes out, I'm there, and you know he can't see me because he's little, but I can see him. I see him looking for me, and I seen this one day, bro. His eyes lit up when he seen me, and just ran, just hugged onto my leg, and then held my hand tight, and we walked home. And I was thinking, like, fuck, like this little perfect little human loves me. I ain't got no car. I don't got no fly shit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when I had all of that shit, I had nothing but fake love around me. You know what I mean? But this guy loves me. You know what I'm saying?
Unconditionally.
So, unconditionally. So
Yeah.
it made me love myself. You know what I mean? And shit has been good ever since then, bro. You know what I mean?
So did you ever resolve being on the run with the
Nah,
law
bro,
enforcement?
So don't tell no. I'll fuck with you.
I mean,
Yeah, I did. They came and they found me in 2014. The U.S. Marshals. They came and got me outside the gym, and the marshal. It was weird that I was on social media. Period. I was on social media initially to stay in touch with my family. You know what I'm saying? So I started working as a personal trainer, and I would use social media for my clients, like showing their progress, like videos.
Promote your business, yeah.
Right, and it was giving me a lot more business. Every now and then I throw a little video up of myself working out, and people was just liking all the content. And then it got to where there's more demand for it, and I'm like, well, fuck it. Like every day you want to run, you're not thinking you're free, but you feel a little more comfortable every day.
While there's this invisible weight hanging in the back of your head, it's
a dark cloud.
Yeah,
dark cloud.
Bad way to live, I'm sure.
It was not really. It was stressful, but stress is good depending on how you deal with it, right?
Okay.
Stress will make you powerful or to break you. You know what I'm saying? It just made me strong. So, and it gave me a certain sense of urgency to live and to be in the moment.
In the moment, because you never know.
Because every day, bro, there's many days that I'm imagining them in my at the door of my apartment.
Like worst case scenario, 15 to 20 is serious, so I gotta make every day count.
And then as a fugitive, it's an enhancement, a FOJ enhancement. So, you know, you're looking at more time. You know what I'm saying? So what happened? Where were we at?
We were talking about how you were working out. The U.S. Marshals came to the gym.
So social media. So my shit just started going viral. I'm like, fuck, I can't even stop it. Well, fuck it. We'll see what happens. And then it's like people was like reaching out to come train with me and shit like that. And I'm like, tell them $1,500. They're like, okay. I'm like, damn, I'm making money. And a lot of cops was coming to work out with me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, what the fuck? You know? But the cops, military, those are like a huge part of my my base. Like they just love that kind of like discipline and that hard work and shit like that. So, and they just guys too, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I rebuilt my life, right, from nothing, the right way, all legal, all ethical, everything. Crossed my T's, dot my I's, doing the most, right? And then they came and got me. And I ain't gonna lie, Kev, I was a little bit relieved, you know, because I had to lie to everybody all the time. Nobody knew shit. Nobody knew nothing, right? And I wasn't directly telling people, oh, I'm from here, or I did this, but I would walk people down a neighborhood of, you know, what I want them to believe from my past, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to do that shit. So I was like, fuck, I ain't got to lie no more. And the marshal that got me, he was like, yeah, man, we've been trying to get you for a minute, but you travel a lot. So we was always a couple days behind you. And I'm like, fuck, that's crazy. But he was like, yo, you're a good dude and you do a lot of good for a lot of people. He said, just get this behind you and move on with your life. And I was like, thank you. But in my head, I'm like, my life about to be with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But make a long story short, you know, they move me around all over Cali. Everywhere I'm at, cops is pulling me out. Like, what are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like guards and shit. Because they always into working out and shit. And I was like, that's some old shit, whatever. So they kept me here as long as they could, because I couldn't bond out here, because Arizona. Finally, they extradite me. And bond was $500,000. I was like, God damn. So, but I did make bond. And then I got a bomb-ass attorney, fire. He just beat the fuck out of the case, bro.
Wow.
Beat it. So he was whooping them. Like, he was so aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling him, like, yo, you should probably chill. Like, you're going to piss them off. He's like, fuck them. I'm going to make them work. And he did. He made them work. And he was so confident. He just made me, listen, if I would have went to prison at the end of it, right?
You would have been like, at least we tried.
I would have been, the route to it, I wouldn't have been stressed out because he was so competent and confident. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't like it. Probably the worst thing that could ever happen is you hire a lawyer with your freedom in the limb, and it's a shitty lawyer.
Oh yeah, and the first one I hired was.
Yeah.
He was scared of everything. He was a bitch, like for real. He was such a coward. You know what I'm saying? because initially he was like, we're going to ask for a bond reduction because that's not constitutional, yada, yada, yada. So when they finally got to where they assigned a prosecutor, they still didn't assign a prosecutor, but somebody had to show up to court, and, you know, he didn't want to do the bond reduction. And they coming to me panicking. They scaring me because they scared. I'm like, what happened? Like, did something happen I don't know about? So when I just ran the model through my head, I'm like, these fucking guys are scared. I don't even have a prosecutor yet. They don't give you a prosecutor that fast, especially for a big case.
Right.
I'm buying it out of this bitch because he was like, save your money. I sat in there an extra month trying to save money, but fuck that. I got out. So
yeah,
he worked for about a month. Then I seen how incompetent he was. I got rid of him and got shout out to Brian Russo. It's my guy.
Brian Russo out in AZ.
He's a G. He's one of my best friends. Put it like that. I love that man for life.
Yeah, shit. He beat the case, man.
Beat it.
So you only had to sit down for about a month.
A couple months.
Okay.
Yeah, and
but that's, I mean, you know, that's manageable.
It's not bad, bro. And listen, when anybody has been locked up, it's like the worst day is the first day you in there.
Well, especially in Arizona, that horseshoe, you're sitting
terrible.
in there with all these.
It's the worst.
The worst shit ever.
It's
They
funny,
changed it, by the way.
Arizona, I don't even want to know.
I may or may not have been there recently. It's a lot better.
Maricopa County, LA County, and Dade County are the 3 worst jails in the country. You know what I'm saying?
So, and you've lived in all 3 places?
Done 2. Well, I've been in 2 of them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you've
LA
been in 2. Yeah.
And, yeah. So not humane conditions.
Well, they changed it with the new sheriff, but then COVID happened, and now when you go to jail for, like, you know, usually they'd send you to like Madison, and you're sitting in a room with. They send you to like you take a number and you're in a waiting room. You're not even in cuffs. It's kind of crazy.
It's weird. It's funny.
I've
it
heard.
seemed like that would be cool, but you want to be around people.
Fuck that.
Being isolated is not the vibe.
Not that first, like when you're like super, like if you get arrested for some dumb shit, that first like night or day when you're like, you didn't expect it happening, you don't want to, bro. I've been in jail, motherfuckers recognize me. And they ask like, what are you doing here? Yeah. I mean, I was only in for like a day or 2, but right. It's like, fuck, man. Like,
yeah, that shit sucks, bro. The first day is the worst, you know what I'm saying? But then once you just get normal, you get used to
once you get a bed, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, that's the best. Like,
just give me a bed.
It's so bad. They make it so bad that you get something like a bed. You're like, oh, I'm good.
And it's a shitty bed.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's
like you don't have to use a roll of toilet paper as a pillow anymore.
but out here they had me at the old county jail.
I heard LA County Jail is a wild place.
It is, but we was in the max security, so it's single man cells, and it's bars. Like, you don't see bars. That's like on TV.
Yeah. Like
they roll this wheel for the bars to, you know what I'm saying? And bro, you ever read the Book of Revelations or the Rapture?
I'm familiar with it. I'm not a religious man, so
neither am I, but I'm fascinated by literature, and that's a fascinating piece of literature. Revelations, it gives the description of hell, right? And bro, I'm telling you, LA County Jail, the max security side was literally identical, because they said Gabriel throws you into like the pit of hell, right? Like violently throws you, and then in the walls, it's down the tunnel is like souls stuck, right? Screaming and reaching for you, and you never hear silence. You know what I'm saying? And in there is like you going down these halls, motherfuckers, you know, hanging out, bro. They never stop talking all night, and I'm talking about the most ignorant shit you'll ever hear. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers on the top tier talking to the bottom tier. They never even met each other. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about their baby mamas, like the dumbest shit. So it's like, for a person who, I mean, I'll never say that I didn't deserve to be there. You know what I mean? Because everything happens for a reason. But that wasn't my life anymore. It's that part alone was torture. Just listening to everybody. Just
because you're like, I don't belong here,
bro. I listen to audiobooks, and you know what I'm saying. I make some classical music in with my hip hop, and I like hearing. I'm a fan of like different intellectuals in the academia space, and I got to hear this.
You're like, why am I like this? This can't be
not life. But I took it as try, like it's my punishment. I just fucking deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I did things that wasn't cool, and it was people that looked up to me and that followed me down dark paths. You know what I'm saying? And that shit is never cool. You know?
Yeah, I mean, back then, like with that 05, 06 era of pushing packs it was also a very a lot more money was, the margins were greater.
Oh man.
Because the margins nowadays, like,
I don't even know.
they're just not. I mean, obviously, with the availability of weed, right? The secret's out. You can come to LA. There's Instagram pages with distro. Like, it's kind of wild. Like,
I don't know what those guys are doing now. I know they sick to their stomach.
So take me back to like 05, 06. What would be like average that you would pay for a pack, and would you get it off for on the East Coast?
The average is $500 for a pound. You know what I'm saying? Or that Reggie, that Ari, they call it Arizona. They got the purple hairs, the popcorn, the good texture, but it's just regular weed.
Outdoor shit.
Outdoor. But on the East Coast, that's like some fire shit. So the smaller the town, the more you get. There was some place in Georgia we was getting shit off for like $1,200, $1,300 a pound.
Damn.
But like Atlanta, you getting like to $900, $800. New York, $700. But I had a fucking hell of a plug though. So my connect in AZ was a Paisa. Right,
always is.
So no, it's usually Chicano, right?
Well, yeah. Paisa, for people who don't know what a Paisa is like straight from Mexico.
From Mexico, right?
Chicano's a person who was born here that's
America,
Mexican,
right? An American with Mexican descent.
Correct.
A Paisa is a Mexican from Mexico.
Yeah,
you bring the work cheap to the Chicano. The Chicano's usually the connect, right? But my connect was a Paisa that just is kind of like a Chicano because he grew up in America, but he's from Mexico. So he was still giving me average prices, maybe like $50 less or whatever. And he was my homie. So one night we went out. I never hung out with him, but he had the stereotypical Mexican tolerance of alcohol, and he got fucked up, right? And fucking with people, and then we turn around, he getting jumped. So I went and saved the day, you know what I'm saying? And after that, he was like, bro, you saved my life, yada, yada, yada. I'm gonna just start hooking you up. So he started giving me the work at his cost. You know what his cost was, bro?
What?
$150.
You were just printing money.
Bro, so I was just like, at that point, I'm sending shit off, and I'm telling, the biggest thing was like getting your money back in a timely fashion. And then over time, it's getting more competitive. More people was getting work, right? So it's taking longer for my guys to break down the packs and give me my bread. So I was able to like, yo, send me 600, 650. That way they had it cheaper. They sent my shit super
right away.
fast. Yeah. Or just buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was able to just middleman, like, come get it for 400.
You just come to, if you come to Arizona, you handle getting it to where you need to get it.
Yeah, you get it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then that's the worst thing is like when people like want you to put the like the work's just in the air.
Yeah.
And your money's not there yet.
Nah, bro, the biggest like stress was like when a pack go out, I'm waiting to hear that touchdown in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So, and I always, well, man, I did it so long, bro, with clean streaks, never a box missing. We had a driver.
It's amazing.
He would give us an address, take it off his route, boom. It was smooth. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you were mentioning that you did some research earlier on how to stay out of the way if you're on the run. Well, by the way, what country did you end up in?
I don't really tell those things. You know what I'm saying?
But what were some of the things, like if somebody was watching this and they're like, what are the things that you learned that they look out for that you kind of...
I don't know what it is right now, but...
Back then,
this is something that I was afraid of that I think they do now. Like, when you get out of jail, they scan your eyes to make sure the wrong person not getting released. That technology was brand new back then. And I remember getting to one country and they were doing a retina scan and I was shook.
Stressed.
But nothing happened.
Because nothing was connected.
Yeah.
The databases weren't connected.
Yeah. These countries are not connected. Matter of fact, the states are not connected. Each state has like 2 or 3 states that they're connected to. They do whichever they feel would be the most likely that people will go to. So New York, California, Georgia is not connected.
You know I've had like a outstanding, like I think I had a warrant in Arizona once, but I was living in Idaho at the time, and it was some traffic shit, nothing serious, but I was like super freaked out. They pulled me over and they're like, hey, you're good to go, sir. And I was like,
You sure about that? You want to run that again?
All right. I'll take
funny.
it. But
yeah, so if you've been in jail, now these countries aren't connected unless it's some high profile case, or if it's a murder, if it's some kind of rape, sexual assault, or anything to do with children, you're in the highest search shit, and that's NCIC or something like that. And I might be saying it wrong, but they're tracking passports, IDs, all of that shit all over the place unless you got somebody else's shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. A lot of crimes go under the radar. They got to know you there. And then you could do your research. There's a Google search to see which countries have extradition treaty with the United States, because not all of them do. You know what I'm saying? So you could be somewhere and be like, yo, I'm here, motherfucker. And if there's no treaty in place, they won't.
You're fine.
You're good. You may, and I was gonna say you may have a hard time with visas, but you don't, because Americans, pretty much every country we go to except for Australia and Canada, we have an automatic visa. Now it'll run out, and all you do is go to the next country to renew your visa. Get stamped, boom, come right back. $30. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
I had to do that shit a lot. You know what I mean?
Well, we always like see in the movies nowadays. Probably like would you swap out SIM cards and shit, or like have your?
Oh, then I just wherever I was at, I got a phone for there.
Just a little trap phone.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You realize, like, being in other countries, I realize how fortunate we are here. I'm talking about other, like, first world countries. It's like just having an abundance of legit cell phone companies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These people
some
live by
places
SIM
only
card
have like
bullshit.
one or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's shitty. It's kind of like prepaid vibes. You know what I'm saying? But nah. So that's easy. I feel like. Well, here's the thing. Typically, when people are on a run, they're doing illegal things to keep themselves afloat, and that's how they get caught. You know what I mean? I didn't. So I had a little bit of bread saved, right, that I was living off of while I was moving around. And I had one of my partners who he caught a case, behind me. I bonded him out, did everything, lawyered him up. Then they dropped the case on him. So I got that money back from the lawyer, you know what I'm saying? So I had a little bit to keep me afloat for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But by the time I came back to the States, I was running low, you know what I mean? I had to get a job, like a 9 to 5.
What was your first job coming back?
I was just a personal trainer at a gym.
And that obviously proved to be low-key.
Did pretty well.
Pretty well.
Yeah.
Where are you originally from? Like
from Brooklyn, New York.
So you're originally from Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. What, like, the boxing thing? Because, I went to your YouTube channel. I've been a subscriber for a while, but I was just like, I'm just curious what's the most popular shit. The most popular videos, you giving boxing lessons.
Yeah.
So how, like, walk me through kind of growing up in Brooklyn and what resulted in you getting into fighting and all that.
Yeah. Brooklyn is super competitive. It's like an overpopulated place. So you always competing, playing sports, fighting, everything. So I just kind of grew up with that aggressive, competitive nature. And then my grandfather, my pops, introduced me to boxing at an early age. I just thought it was the best sport. It was beautiful because I grew up when Mike Tyson was reigning. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching Mike Tyson, and his shit is poetic. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a boring era. You know what I mean?
No, it was probably the best heavyweight era ever.
Yeah, he's
in terms of entertainment,
smaller than everybody and crushing giants. You know what I'm saying? So I loved it. So my father sent me a pair of boxing gloves, and I just take them outside and just scrap with everybody. And then when I got about 12, I got into it, as a sport, like as amateur boxing. That's when I had my first fight, and I fell in love with it.
It was over from there.
Over from there. I love it like a motherfucker now. Like, it was a period when I had quit and I couldn't watch boxing because it was guys that I knew. Guys that, like, you knew, you maybe sparred with or whatever. And you're like, but they stuck to the script and they're making millions of dollars. So it just pained me, you know what I'm saying? But that was my own fault, you know what I mean? So
you think if you would have stuck with boxing,
100%, you'd
be one of those guys?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody was like, yeah, he's that guy. Because here's the thing, I didn't have any support though, you know what I'm saying? It was just me.
In New York?
Anywhere.
I just mean in terms.
I traveled all over. So I didn't have any support with boxing. Nobody. My father was with it, but
it's an expensive. You got to have a trainer, right? You got to go to a gym.
Nah, that's free though. Like,
it's free. That's free.
Like, I mean, in the poor areas, they do that shit for free. So you pay for your book, your medicals, your parents pay for that shit. Yeah. It's not expensive like that. And then the gyms that I grew up in, there's a bunch of, we share the gloves. You know what I'm saying? So. And that's really the best case scenario. Like, when you give these kids like all of this nice shit, they soft. You know what I'm saying? So my gym, we just pick gloves. They stunk. They smell like blood and sweat. And
everybody who's worn them.
Yeah, everybody's knuckles unscraped off in the gloves. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't see nothing wrong with it. The tarp in our ring was just full of blood drops, just brown stains everywhere. But that was normal to us. I go to some gyms now with kids training. I'm like, how can you be motivated in here with air conditioning? You know what I'm saying? For real, bro. You sweat. You can't sweat in them spots. So it's too plush. You know what I'm saying? Like my son knows how to box. He got hands. But I would never let him compete because it's a certain thing that you don't get having a privileged life. You know what I'm saying? And you don't need to. Like his best asset is his brain, his mind. So I don't want him damaging that. And you will damage your brain.
100%.
You will damage it.
What was it? Was it the rap shit that got you out of boxing? Like for you to start pursuing your rap career? Because you took your rap shit serious for a while.
That was part of it, but it was like hustling, like making money. Because look, you're boxing to make money. Like let's not.
But it takes a while before you start making money.
It takes a while. And I was in Mike Tyson's camp. You know what I'm saying? It was like some light at the tunnel, and in the tunnel, but the shit was hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a very disciplined lifestyle. You don't do all the shit your friends do. I'm so glad that I had it though, because even though I went off course and was in the streets for a while, I never went but so far, and I had discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people like, some names I ain't gonna say on here, but I'm sure you know of people out there who did the most, and it's a rap now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I never, like at the sentencing for my shit, the judge said, "We see that you're not a criminal. Get out of my courtroom." You know what I'm saying? So it's like the core of me is not a street criminal, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're an entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur, and at the time, I mean, that was
look. At the end of the day, man, hustlers are hustlers, bro.
That's it, regardless of the genre.
And sometimes the opportunity presents itself for you to be a hustler in an illegal way,
right,
and in an illegal way.
It's interesting, man. I had a conversation with this dude, and in the fitness industry, it's a lot of suckers, man, like virtual signaling and shit. And
listen, buddy, I swear it is rough. Some of these guys on YouTube or just Instagram, they're cornballs for sure.
And we were talking about some shit. It was a big discussion. And the guy was trying to, like, without saying me, like, shit on me by saying, like, well, I've never been arrested, never did a crime, never been in a fight, for all that matter. And I was like, that's because you're a pussy. You know what I'm saying? You never did a crime because you're afraid that you'll get caught and you're afraid of the consequences. You know what I'm saying? Because I think, listen, I'm not saying committing a crime is ethical. It's not, right? Breaking the law is not okay, right? But some laws, what if you have your own consciousness, like, why is this illegal? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to take a risk, right? I'll weigh out the risk versus the reward. And if I'm good,
you live with the consequences.
If I'm good with both, I'm going to go, right? That shit plays well into my life now. You know what I'm saying? I take all the risks. Because ain't nothing bad going to happen, but I lose some money. You know what I'm saying? Before it was like, lose money, go to jail, somebody fuck your girl, niggas take your car, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's not even a possibility anymore. So I'm the ultimate risk taker, you know what I'm saying? And and it just diminished my fear of a lot of things, Fear, let me say this, fear is a sign of intelligence. Let's not get it twisted, but, fear will also keep you from living, you know what I'm saying? And experiencing life at its highest. So it's to this day, it's a risk that I still take, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think like, when you're conditioned in society to live life a certain way, and that way usually is getting a good job, getting your benefits, just making sure your bare necessities are covered, go on vacation once a year if you can afford it.
Right.
Get a nice, get your charger with your payment, whatever it is.
Right.
Like the thought of like, if you are making $45,000 a year, $60,000 a year, but maybe you have some sort of passion or some sort of, I don't know, want for more, but you're scared that like you're gonna walk away from the sure thing, and that sure thing ain't shit, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
You're right, bro. Like
the sure thing is what got a lot of people fucked up, bro.
I look at life like this, man. Like for me, the most valuable currency is human. Is deep, meaningful connections with people that I think are dope, right? I live my life predicated on the fact that I'm gonna die. Let's not get it twisted. I'm gonna die. We're all gonna die one day, right? So for me, bro, it's like I want people to have a dope last memory of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he was a nice guy, or that motherfucker was dope. Whatever it is, I want people to have a pleasant memory of me, because look, that's all we have really is they're gonna miss you. They have some memories, and that shit start fading. Then it's just nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I leave a couple things. I want to leave as many positive memories as possible. But then for my children, I leave like my mind in them. You know what I'm saying? I instill the tenets and principles that I live by in them, but I do it better than what I did. You know what I'm saying? I give them a better a map for navigating life so that they can do the same. And that's how we keep the bloodline going. It's not even real blood. It's like just a mentality, a consciousness that's passed down through the generations. And, I've done my genealogy, and, I got, they track people's genomes by documents, right? That's all we have to go off of. Right. So I've been back far, but that's it. So I don't know nothing about their personalities, what they was into, what people thought.
Right.
Now we got this. We're immortal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was gonna say, with like you, anyone who's like seriously into the content game, like you could pass away, but your content's gonna live on forever.
Forever. That's a beautiful thing. It's digital. So I'm very cognizant of that. So that's what I love doing content. Listen, a lot of my content, the shit that I love doing the most, don't get the biggest push, right? But that's okay, because it's like a series called Mental Jewels, and it'd be like just me giving certain perspectives on life, on whatever, advice.
Right.
And it'd be people that hit me up, they're like, damn, bro, I used to always skip these videos, but I was going through some shit, and this one came on today, and that shit just hit me a certain way. I just want to say thank you. I do it for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, like it's those small, like we know what gets views, and sometimes you'll do something that you didn't expect to go viral, but for the most part, like you kind of can do something and know, okay, this is gonna do what it's gonna do. But it's like the shit that like isn't the sexiest, that really penetrates people the most. Pause. And so that's like stuff people can live with. That's not gonna be the big headline. It's not gonna be the, the positive. Like I think like even in the interview game, like I'll do interviews that have like 5,000 views, but like I'll get the most feedback.
Yeah, it's depth versus the width, right? So, and even how YouTube works, I've been doing YouTube since 2012, right? And I've had my reps, and I pick their brain. I'm trying to figure out how this shit work, how we get paid for real. And from what they don't ever say exactly how, because they want to prevent fraud,
of course,
rightfully so. But I got an idea, and it's not the amount of views; it's the length of time people are watching your shit.
Yeah, it's like I'll drop a 2-hour interview. And I'll drop it. I'll drop that interview, and then I'll drop clips, right? Yeah. But the big interview is where people will sit for 30 minutes. Right. You make the most off of that.
Right, bro. So think about that, bro. You have a 2-hour TV show, but people watching like 30 minutes of that shit.
That's a lot of time.
And it's not scripted. It's real. It's raw. That's value. You know what I mean? So, and then even like if I market a product or something and I have this beautifully edited video, people won't give a shit. But if I'm just saying some shit on my camera,
if it's organic, that's what they care about.
That's what
I always say that when people do ads or they do anything like influencer related, I'm like, yo, don't overproduce it, man. Just fucking, it's gotta feel organic, or people are gonna be like, fuck this.
It's gotta be holistic.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And what I mean by that is like, for me, everything is like I try to like come from a spiritual place. So like a lot of guys come to me for advice with business and this and the third, and I'm like, what are you trying to do? And they're always concerned about the outcome, and that's money, how much they can make, or how much you make from this. I'm like, bro, I gotta be honest with you. I've never went into any of these businesses with the idea of how much money I'm gonna make. I went into it with the idea of like, yo, I'm gonna make the best XYZ, and people are gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be able to price it affordable or whatever. Or my service, I'm gonna be the best at whatever I'm trying to do for people,
and let the rest figure itself out. But
everything works out.
You're controlling what you can control,
right?
And that's all you should worry about.
And as a result of that, the bad comes.
Yeah,
always. It's not always, even. It's bro. I don't worry about shit. It always comes. You know what I'm saying?
That's some real shit. I think like that's one thing people get caught up in, and also intent of what you're doing. Like if you're doing something to get money quick and you're trying to like have longevity, usually that's not really how it works. You got to have some sort of passion or some sort of like care for what
the passion.
Like part. You're into fitness. This is what you do. This is not like, you're not like some some like rich dude who decided, oh, there's good money in supplements.
Right,
Let me start my own supplement line.
Right. It's
or I'm an influencer. Let me start my own protein
bro, you know how
powder
many
just
people-
cause.
You know, people, hey, big bro, how do I start a line? I'm like, why? Motherfucker, like, what? If you gotta ask me that shit, you ain't cut out for this shit. Like, there's people, there's producers and there's consumers in this world. You know what I'm saying? Producers figure out, like, you want something. Like, when I started the supplement game, I never took supplements all my life until I started getting like worn down, training so many people. I ain't got no energy. Try like a fat burner, pre-workout, whatever. And that shit gave me energy, but it gave me like weird side effects. Bro,
It was itchy arms.
all that shit, beta-alanine. So I go and I started taking pictures of every supplement label. After work, long ass days. I'm falling asleep every night with my computer on my laptop on my chest, researching, looking up these ingredients, trying to identify what is it that gives me the energy, what is it that gives me these side effects I didn't like. Yeah. Can this work without that? You know what I'm saying? Then I start ordering shit from China, cheap shit, testing it on myself. That's how I started the shit, right?
So you would make your own stuff.
I'm a producer, right? Like, you're a producer, you know what I'm saying? So, but most of the world are consumers. It's a small amount of people providing goods and services. And most people they need somebody to provide it so they can buy it. And that's fine. That's how the world is. I was explaining that to my son because he was talking about like kids at school, like they're kind of simple. I like, look, son, don't look at it like that. This is the normal order of things, the natural order of things. Most people
are that,
and that's fine. There's no knock to them. That's just how it is. People got to understand this. The essence of life, of all biological life on this planet, is to be lazy, is efficiency. It's to not do much. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sit still till I'm hungry. I'm hungry and I'm going to go get some food. You know what I'm saying? A lion, we look at them as so badass, right? The motherfuckers just chill, let their women go hunt. Oh, you got it? All right, move. Get out the fucking way. I'm eating first. You know what I'm saying? That's the nature, the natural order of things. People are not designed to be hustling. People are designed to chill, to relax, to rest. You know what I mean? So there's a few weirdos that like to do a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And we're in the animal kingdom, but we're a little bit different because we got these fucking robust cerebral cortex, which the other animals don't. So we have imagination, empathy. We can remember things. We got language. So we got all these different ways of like recording information and passing it down, and we learn more, pass it down, learn more. So we know that we can do certain things that may seem difficult to do, but it gives us pleasure. You know what I'm saying? You ever climb like Squaw Peak or Camelback back in the day?
Yeah.
That shit hard.
Super.
But when you get to the top, you feel good.
Yeah.
Especially
in Arizona, depending on how hot it is.
Yeah. It's a certain sense of accomplishment. Most people will never even try that shit.
I had a terrible idea. Me and my boy Ramses, Ramses, the Theo Gio and D'Angelo were supposed to do a photo shoot for this newspaper in Arizona called The Write-Up back in the day.
I remember that.
And you know Matlocks, of course. So Matlocks, I don't know if it was his idea or Ramses' idea to climb the top of Camelback Mountain and take pictures on top of the mountain in our fucking outfits for a fucking photo shoot. And it was hilarious. One of the worst days of my life.
But it's probably some epic pictures, though.
Cool pictures. Yeah. We got them forever, for sure.
See, it's that memory.
No, you're right, though. You're right. Like, I do think, like, most people are trained and they're automatic. I mean, everyone's kind of raised in whatever comfort zone that whether it's your parents, whether it's your environment. And I just think, like, I've always just kind of had, like, a attitude of, like, trying to be uncomfortable.
That's it.
Because when I'm uncomfortable, I feel like I get the most out of just whatever I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Man. Like, Bootleg Kev podcast. Got to stop things real quick. Tell you about our good folks at Blue Chew. Listen, fellas, if you're trying to get your dick right, you're trying to stay harder. Everyone wants to be hard. Can you stay hard? You know what I mean? If you need some help with your dick, is essentially what I'm trying to say. You need to go to bluechew.com and get down with something that I feel like is imperative in having yourself a lovely evening with a lovely young lady or male, whatever you're into. If you go to bluechew.com, you will get Blue Chew. It has the same active ingredient as Cialis and as Viagra, right? But guess what it doesn't have? The awkward doctor visits. That's right. You don't got to wait in line at some lobby to go get you some fucking shit to get your dick working and have some awkward conversation with a nurse and then have an awkward conversation with a doctor and then he writes you a prescription and then you go to the pharmacist and then it's awkward because you pass them the prescription and everyone knows you're picking up dick stuff. You know what I'm saying? No. Blue Chew, you go to the website, it's all online. It gets sent straight to your house in discreet packaging in a chewable form. Listen, your first month free right now when you go to bluechew.com and you use the promo code Bootleg. That's right. You get the first month for free. BlueChew.com, promo code Bootleg. Thank me later. All right. Go get your dick together, fellas. Break down the alpha. What is an alpha male? What is a beta male? For people who hear those two words and don't necessarily aren't educated as to what that is, man.
Yeah. So alpha, beta, these are Greek letters, A, B. And in our society or in our culture, the alpha, like alpha in the animal kingdom or in humans, is just a more dominant male, a leader. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. And the betas are more of the followers, you know? And I don't want to get anything confused with anybody out there as saying an alpha is better than a beta, because I don't think that, you know? Actually, I've been talking about this a lot lately, that like alpha males are becoming less and less useful in society. You know what I mean? Alpha male is useful for himself and maybe the people closest to him. But what's better for society is beta males. And if you look at society, our society is ran by beta males, regardless of what people think, you know? This country is a democracy, you know what I'm saying? With a system of checks and balances. So there's no kings. Even the president, when people really understand the nature of the government, the federal government, the framework of it, and all of the state governments and city governments, the federal government is maybe a little bit more powerful than the royal parliament shit in London, like the kings and queens. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just there for pageantry. Listen, Donald Trump, when he was in office, he complained all the time about not being able to get shit done. Because it don't matter. You don't run shit. The presidents don't run shit.
Well, yeah, how it's set up is like the checks and balances kind of at time. You know, it's crazy because I never thought about this, but like I was just talking to somebody about this last week about like every 4 years or 8 years some shit will start to get done, and then whoever gets elected will try to undo whatever the last guy did,
right. Which is actually a good thing.
It's just I guess it depends, right? Because let's say you're on the cusp of getting something historically dope done. Right. I don't know what it might be, whatever, right? Yeah. Something that's going to help a lot of people, free healthcare, whatever it is. Then another guy gets elected and then they undo all. It just feels like a cycle of like, because it is very cyclical as to which party he's in, right? It's like, it'll be 8 years of a Democrat and then it'll be 8 years of George W. Bush, then it's 8 years of Obama, then Trump, you know what I mean? So it just feels like a bureaucracy cycle of like.
It is, and as much as ugly as it is, and as much as people are so hot and vitriol about who's in and who's not, this is the best case scenario for everybody.
For society, in the world, for civilization.
Yeah, because they talk about corruption, voter fraud. Yes, every election there's fraud, but that's to be expected. If I was trying to run for president, I'm gonna be trying to cheat too. Like I want.
Yeah, I think all that. Well, I think all that. Like you said, every election there's voter fraud.
Yeah, but
every election ever
is not what total corruption. Yeah. Total corruption is Venezuela. Is when a motherfucker win by 90%. You know what I'm saying? You'll never find even 55-45 in America. It's always a percentile or two off, and that's perfect. People should be appreciative of that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, everybody for half the country to hate the president and love the president each time, whichever way, is the best case scenario. That's fair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I think we think of a country that's like a first world country, Russia. Russia's like a big country. Yeah. That's not like some fucking third world place. It's they have McDonald's, they have Starbucks. Yeah, well, not anymore. Apparently they're gutting all the McDonald's out there. Yeah. But if you think about a place like Russia is a first world country. But it's a very... Joe Biden's not fucking getting people killed or running against them, and Donald Trump wasn't getting people killed or running against him.
Nobody's afraid of Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's fair. He fell off a bike.
Nobody's afraid of Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe. You know what I'm saying?
I just mean in terms of like opponents aren't getting each other murked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's so, we such fucking babies here. We complain about so much shit.
We don't know how good we have it.
We don't know how good we have it. And people won't know, because I didn't know, bro, until I started traveling the world. And I be in dope ass places, but I'm like, fuck that shit. I want to go back home. I went to so many, and then the closest place, I almost got a crib in Sydney, Australia at one point, right? Because it's so dope.
I bet you were slaying out there.
It was nice out there, bro. The weather was dope.
Bunch of Iggy Azaleas running around.
Yeah, all of that. Is she Australian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But the people are so fucking nice. And when you traveling different countries, when you go to English speaking countries, it's just a better vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, this is kind of dope. But then like when COVID happened, see, character comes out in hard times, right? So COVID came out, right? You're looking at Europe, looking at Australia, these motherfuckers was on martial law, locked
Especially
down.
in Australia. Australia was really bad.
All bad. So I was like, fuck that. We free here. I don't care about people complaining.
Neighbors snitching on themselves out there was crazy.
Yeah, bro. And they don't got guns.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
Look, I just realized this during the past 2 years. We're the only country who have a constitutional right for our citizens to carry weapons.
Yeah.
That widespread, everybody got them.
People don't realize that.
They don't know that shit.
They're taking that away from the Canadians right now.
Oh, I didn't even know they had guns. I thought they was
Trudeau
already...
just banned handguns, or is proposing it, and I think
fuck that.
setting up some sort of like turn-in date where you have to turn in your handguns or something. I don't know if it passed. I'm not like super. I just know that like it's being proposed.
They gotta come get it from me. I ain't turning this shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing with like the gun violence thing is like I do think that an 18-year-old shouldn't be able to go to the store and buy 2 ARs without fucking any sort of conversation or hey, what are your what's going on? Why do you need these guns? Like there should be some sort of background check for certain things. But I also think we have to understand that we're in America. This is the only place in the world like this place. And unfortunately, for the good, for the bad, this is our culture. And our culture is we have guns. And and there's more guns here than people by a whole lot. So the realistic expectation to ban, and I do think like, again, I think there should be like comprehensive background checks for certain weapons. Like
what?
Like I think if like that kid in Uvalde, like he turned 18 and he went to the store and bought 2 AR-15s. No checks, just went and copped 2 guns.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I like that extensive background check shit, because it's like, when does it stop?
Or even
like,
how about a course? How about
I think that's fair.
How
like
about a course?
Like
like a drive. Like you need a license to have an AR-15. If you want an assault weapon, you got to have a license. You got to go through schooling. Like if I'm a 16-year-old,
but that's not that won't be the root to the problem, because it's not about how accurate you can shoot. It's about your temperament, your personality. You know what I'm saying? Or if you have any mental illness and shit like that. Because then the motherfuckers that be going out doing dumb shit, it's not how proficient you are.
Yeah, and maybe those dumb fucks will see. Damn, getting that gun is I'm lazy. I like to fucking play Call of Duty all day and jerk off in my parents' bedroom. I'm not trying to go down to the fucking gun department and go through 6 hours of machine gun class. Yeah,
I wouldn't either. But I think this, bro, like.
But I would do it. Like I would go through that for a gun. Like
because
if
you're a responsible gun owner, like me too. But I don't want to have to. I don't want the government telling me I have to do shit. I don't want that
I think
shit.
just certain guns though. Like I think if you get a handgun, that's something that I think you should be able to get a handgun.
I mean, that should kill a lot of people too.
I feel you.
You get a clip with a drum. It's got as much rounds as any other rifle. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing, bro. When would it stop? If we allow that, it's a slippery slope.
It opens up the door for
tyranny.
I mean, listen, I don't disagree with that, but I just think that there has to be a course, man. Like
I'm not mad at the course.
Especially, how about this? If you're like under the age of 30 or 25, let's say you're like a 21-year-old kid, like we should know how to operate this thing before you get it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if that's the case, they should do the same with law enforcement.
I agree.
It shouldn't be a 21-year-old cop.
No, I think you know, the defund the police conversation is one that is badly branded, I suppose.
It's the brand. So I have a friend that works in government, and she's a liaison between these groups and the government, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, why that? And she said, no, this is not what you think. She said they gotta aim high with these over the top requests, to find some middle ground to get something done.
Aim high so you can get something in the middle.
It's not really they're not defunding the police. They're
reallocating resources,
which has to happen. But
that doesn't have a ring to it.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's listen, the conversation of what we talking about is for the micro, not the macro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the people, they want to hear the over the top, like, and you need the public rally behind you, all of that shit.
Well, people's political stances or just opinions on most things are just headline based. There's absolutely no depth to their opinions.
And this is the thing, man.
They just yell whatever tribe that they're a part of.
Whatever
they just
team
yell that talking point at you.
Yeah.
And there's no depth to how they feel. It's just, this is how I'm supposed to feel.
I don't get involved. I say fuck red and blue. Fuck both sides. None of them give a fuck about us. And here's the thing. I'm of the opinion of like groups of people not voting. Let them feel your absence. You know what I'm saying? If black people didn't vote in this election,
Joe Biden would have lost.
Biden lost.
If black people didn't vote in this election, Joe Biden would not have even been the nominee.
That part.
The only reason that he became the nominee was because of the South Carolina primary.
Listen,
they were counting him out. It was Bernie's nomination, and then he fucking ran it up in the South with the older black voters.
Yeah, black people need to divorce themselves from the Democratic Party, hands down. Really, like, people is so emotionally attached to this shit.
It's crazy.
I'm not even saying go be Republican.
No, just
stop being so blindly loyal to these motherfuckers, and they do the worst for black people. Horrible things throughout history. It's been all bad.
Well, yeah, especially
the Clinton era. I mean, even back before that, like, these people are so bad for black people, and they just. What did Clinton do? I'm gonna go on an Arsenio Hall show. I'm a pander. You know what I'm saying? Just like Trump pandered to the fucking white supremacists. He ain't no white supremacist.
He knows his base.
He needed
the problem
base.
is the base of every political party
it's goofy.
Is the problem. So if the base of and this is where I'm at. So like, I voted for Joe Biden. I'm an independent, but I just voted for him just because I was like, the shit that's being normalized by Trump to me was scary. You know what I'm saying?
And what was that?
Just to me, like, his like absolute, first of all, he has zero humility, but I just feel like some of the racial overtones and undertones he was kind of injecting into society were just very like, I'm like, this is, and I know some people will say, well, at least he was blatantly like telling you how he felt, as opposed.
But did he though?
I mean, I think with some of the things he was doing, for sure.
But what about, here's the thing. People will take, and I'm not a Trump fan,
right.
So I'm not a fan of nobody. But here's the thing. I'm an objective observer, right? And I remember at one point, I was like, fuck Trump. I was like, wait a minute, why am I saying that? Because everybody's saying that. Why are they saying that? Oh, because he's racist. What makes him racist? Oh, you remember the shit in Virginia?
Yeah.
All these good people.
Tiki Torch guys.
So let me find the video. Let me watch it.
The David Duke shit.
I watched the shit, right? That speech was taken, that clip was taken out of context. First of all, the whole speech probably had 30,000 views. Not many views, right? That's interesting. But I watched this shit, bro, and this is not how he said that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but he said, look, there are good people protesting, keeping that part of their history up, and they have the right to. There's good people who feel a certain way about that shit. It reminds them of the past, and this, that, and the third, peacefully protesting to take it down. They have every right to. He was talking about them when he said, and he's right, like, I might want to leave this part of history up. I'm a protest. I want to take it down. I'm a protest. They both have the right. He was talking about that in particular. He said nothing about like praising these people. Now, here's the thing, and I always bring this to people that say, oh, he's a racist. I say, is he? Because, hold on, there's legislation.
He was on a Method Man album to Cal 2000.
There's legislation that nobody talks about. Listen,
HBCU shit.
Who's the like in the optics of United States? Who are the most feared terrorist group or terrorist organization since the inception of our country?
Well, the perception would be that it's people from the Middle East, but I think
no. I'm talking about like from American born
white people.
This is Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, KKK.
Nobody has touched them.
They've never been designated as a terrorist organization.
Trump designated them as a hate group and a terror organization. Nobody talks about that. That got no press. You know what I'm saying?
And that had never been done before, right?
Nobody touched it. You know what I'm saying? And, Obama, Biden, they backed Biden's mentor. He was in the Klan. He got out later in his life. That was wrong.
I forget the guy's name.
That was wrong. Yeah, because you dying, motherfucker. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like, people gotta, even like the George Floyd thing, man. Like taking lives is fucked up, right? But why was that given to us when it was given to us? It wasn't given to us when it happened. You know what I'm saying? The public outcry, this shit was months after that shit happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're tugging at y'all, our emotions, our hearts, you know what I'm saying? With fear, with terror, with anger, you know what I'm saying? And people are just, listen, in marketing, like I'm a marketer in essence, and we're able to predict people's behavior, human behavior. That's how we're able to fucking order inventory, do this, do that, right? Mm-hmm. Politics is no different than marketing, you know what I'm saying? And human behavior is very predictable, especially when it comes to emotional things, you know? They're able to guide people where they want to go by making them mad. All right, press the mad button.
Yeah, I mean, and the media has so much to do with that too, right?
Everything to do with it.
It's like, yo, like if you're, think about how much COVID was just being fucking stuffed down our throats.
Listen.
And how much it was like, this is there's only one way to feel about this, or you're a piece of shit murderer.
Now it's nothing. It's fine now.
Well, how about this? During that period of time you're talking about, after George Floyd was murdered, and obviously everyone was rightfully outraged, the COVID shit went away. Nobody was talking about COVID anymore. It was like, no, this is where the eyes are right now. We're gonna put all this shit on TV because, you know, this is where it's at.
Here's the thing, bro.
COVID went away too, by the way, when Ukraine got into, you know, the war's still going on. 5 months later.
And I don't even fuck with what they say about that shit. Like, oh, they're Ukraine smashing Russia. Russia's the bad guy. They're like, all right, it ain't my business. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, look, life is fair. The universal laws that we all follow without knowing works out. You know what I'm saying? The only things that I see is unfair, and maybe I just don't understand, is like when children are born into shitty situations or born deformed and shit. Like, that's the only thing I see is not fair. But other than that, shit is fair and everything balances out. You know? All right, so earlier we mentioned like maybe the government would give people health care. So let's say there's people that like, man, we should have free health care. You could get free health care. You know what I'm saying? Every socialist thing that people want that they don't think we can have, you could do. Every capitalist thing, every government system is here in America in some capacity. You know what I'm saying? Everything, however you want to live, you can live. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I personally lived as a ghost most of my life till 2014, not on the map. I was a special ops from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Until I was ready to present myself, pay taxes, and do all the regular shit, right? So anybody can nestle into any crevice they want to and live a good life. You know what I'm saying?
I do think that there are certain people get born into certain situations that, I mean, do make shit harder, man. You know what I mean? 100%. Like if you're born into I mean.
But bro, you know, like I know, typically people who are born into hard times are fucking stronger, and they
most of the time
their story is way more glorious.
You're right. The minority of those that we hear about, but I think the more probably common thing is that those people end up having shitty lives because they had no role models in their house, or maybe their mom was addicted to drugs, or maybe they were born and their mom was using drugs while they were, you know. I just think that like, I do think like yes, if you're built like you and me or people that we know and you have a certain mind state, you're going to get through whatever. But there's not everyone's built that way.
But it can't be. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. Listen, it can't be. And so what I was saying, like when we were talking about you brought up socialist shit. I do think like if you're a single mom and life has presented you with, you had 3 or 4 kids and you don't have an education.
Or your decisions.
I mean, yeah, those were your decisions. These are your kids. There's your responsibilities. At the same time, if you don't have a resume or you don't have a lot of qualifications to get you a real solid gig, I mean, some of these jobs, man, are, like the minimum wage in some of these places is crazy. Like, can you imagine the national minimum? It sounds crazy to think that the national minimum wage is $7.60.
It's hilarious.
Because
it's disrespectful.
It should be. You would think it'd be at least $10.
Yeah, but we got to look at this too. Here in California is what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably $12, $13.
I think it's $12.
So more expensive places, it's adjusted. Listen, I think it's still all fair. I think everything's fair. Look, if you don't want a minimum wage job, qualify yourself for a job that pays more. Is that simple?
No, you're right.
So I don't
increase your market viability.
Exactly. I feel you 100%, but I also have a different perspective on fair, right?
Right.
Life ain't fair. I don't expect it to be. You know what I'm saying? I think everything's universally fair, right? I think that we are governed by certain laws that just it's entropy, it's cause and effect, it's a decision is your destiny, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that makes it fair. Like, yeah, that's what happens. This can be measured. You know what I'm saying? If I jog a lot, I increase my lung capacity and I can absorb breathing better,
right,
and last longer, cardio shit. So it's, in that sense, it's fair. But when we start talking about morals and ethics, it's not fair. It's not.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, there is truth in the term, like, there's no excuses. Because if you are that mom who has 2 full-time jobs and you're fucking just barely hanging on, like, figure out the 60 minutes of the day where you read a book and pick up a new skill. If you're on the bus or you're driving home, have YouTube playing, teaching you a new skill.
But here's the thing: people gotta recalibrate, like, what is success to them. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're making less money, decrease your overhead. You know what I'm saying? And then find happiness in other things outside of what everybody else got.
Be willing to eat shit for a little bit.
I don't even listen. We human beings have such a powerful fucking attribute. A thing that changes you, me, anybody in here can shift the universe with our perspective and our perception of things, right? So if you're making what most would consider poverty type income, right? You adjust your perspective and find happiness in other things, right? You'll probably be happier than people with a lot of money, right? Because look, I have a lot of money. I make a lot of, I have a lot of shit going on, but happiness don't come with all of that shit.
Cyrus, get the TV right. Sorry.
Yeah. Happiness don't come inherently with money and success.
This is true, man.
I tell people all the time, I deal with depression like the next person. So, and when I recalibrate and find happiness, it's not in a woman, it's not in my homies, not even in my children. It's here and in here. You know what I'm saying? It's the things that I got to work on in my own mind, me recalibrating perceptions and shit like that to readjust and find like beauty in different things. Because look, bro, I used to like have like 4 cars, 2 cars in this state, cars in this state, and this and the third. And then one day I'm looking at this fucking nerd in the industry, in my industry, who I don't respect, who's a goober, with all these cars and these funny outfits and shit. I'm like, I don't ever want to look like this motherfucker. Like, I don't ever want to be confused with anybody to be somebody like him. And I was like, and I used to have XYZ. I had to have this. I had to have that, right? I got rid of all of that shit, and I'm fine. I drive 1 car at a time. That's all I could drive anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with that shit, bro. So, and look, last year, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get back on my car shit. And I'm like, why am I doing this?
Not for yourself.
It wasn't for me at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I got rid of that shit. So, and went back to what I'm content with. I have a lot of friends that got a bunch of cars. That's fine. I don't knock it. I think it's dope. I like cars. But I don't want that. Because when you have a lot of things, there's a lot of effort in you keeping them.
Maintaining them,
and keeping people from taking it.
Takes from your bandwidth. Takes from
it does.
The littlest mental space.
And it's just a thing that's going to deteriorate.
Bro, trust me. Dude, you're preaching to the choir. I could afford a lot of cars.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. I have a paid off car. It runs. I got a fucking SUV. It's got 200,000 miles on it. Until that shit stops working, I've been so tempted to get like a fucking G-Wagon or something.
About the peace you have, not worrying about putting 100,000 on a car.
Right, and like also like I just bought a house, and you know, that's something that I'm like, okay, I'll put money up for that because I have 2 kids. I got my wife. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a crib, but like, what is me buying a car? My car's fucking straight. It runs. It's got AC. Everything's fine. It's a great car. Fits my family in it. My wife has her car. Everything's paid off. Like, but it's like, what am I? If I buy a car, I would rather take that money and like literally put it into a new camera or just something else, something that's gonna generate me income as opposed to like some sort of piece of social equity that I'm literally buying because I'm personally content with the car I have. But I'm really getting this car, so when people look at me differently,
people who don't give a fuck about you.
I'm not a car enthusiast,
right?
So if, it's not like I'm some fucking meathead who like loves engines and shit. I don't, dude. I'm
a meathead that love engines, but I have that shit in control and check. That shit don't control me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And listen, I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's times that I am out of control when it comes to like whips and shit.
Every once in a while,
I be sitting there calculating, like, damn, okay. I remember I had one car in mind on this budget. I get there, it's next to the newest version of that car, and I'm like, there's a $80,000, $100,000 price difference, something crazy, right?
Right.
And I'm just doing the math in my head. I'm like,
how can I make that more?
I'm saying, he's like, the guys right here. I'm looking at the car, say, I want this car, like a crackhead. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get this car. I want this car. I'm gonna come back tomorrow with a bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what the? You know what snapped me out of that day? Like later on that day, it was October 2021, and we went to Horror Nights.
Halloween Horror Nights Universal, yeah.
And we took shrooms and MDMA, right?
Oh wow, that sounds like a great fucking night.
And it just brought me to my reality. Like, why would you do that? That's stupid. You don't need that. Bro, I was stuck on, I'm buying that car tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. I make more money. Kind of like when I was hustling. I know I can get it back.
I mean, I think that is also a natural human like instinct.
It's a weakness.
I've been there where I've been, dude, on the smallest level, my wife was buying me a grill for Father's Day this past weekend.
A grill?
No, a grill to cook on.
I'm about to buy a grill
because I got a new crib, right? Yeah. So she's like, "Yo, I want to get you a grill," and then I realized that there's all these types of grills. There's like a wood pellet grill, and then there's a flat top grill. Right. And I was like, I want both. So you buy me one, and I wasn't even interested in grills before. But I was like, oh shit, I need both. So I'll just buy one, and then you buy one as my gift. And now I got 2 grills in my fucking house. Listen, I was fine without a single grill.
That's cool though. Shit. But
now I could cook. I could cook all kinds of shit.
I started putting in perspective how much money I spend on shit. You know what I'm saying?
On stuff.
I spend more money, like last year, I spent more money on things than most people will make in a year or 2. You know what I'm saying? Just that money's poof, gone. You know what I'm saying? So a grill, I'll do that. An extra grill, I'll do 4 of them bitches. I ain't buying all these cars and shit. And
yeah, and the other thing is like, if you're gonna fuck off money, fuck it off on memories, man.
Yeah.
Like go on a trip with the kids, like go do some shit that's worth it, you know?
Right. But once again, it's your perspective and what's important to you.
Yeah.
And listen, people are fucking stressed. I heard Kevin Gates said with you, he said that, what did he say? That he was comparing his life to people's highlight reels and shit
on
like
Instagram,
that.
yeah.
And it's like,
so that's the social media shit.
Fuck people's lives. You know what I'm saying? Fuck your life. Not in a bad way, but I don't really
your
care.
life ain't. I'm not you ain't me.
I know you don't care about my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
so I really don't care about what y'all do. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I got a good homie of mine who just broke up with his girl. And I was like, y'all broke up? And he was like, yeah, like it's done. And I was like, they've been together for a long time, maybe 3 or 4 years. And on social media, they look like the happiest. I was like, bro, what? He's like, bro, the shit you don't see is the shit on social media. We've been miserable for a long time. And I'm like, damn, like you could have fucking fooled me, man.
Yeah. Everybody put the best. Look, for social media, I keep it 100. Like, social media is a business.
It's a tool.
It's a tool for me.
Yeah.
It's not my real life. It isn't one tiny sliver.
It's a piece of your life.
That shit is not like my happiness and my this. It's none of that shit. I'm not. Why do I need to report to people about my relationships and all? None of that shit, right?
It's someone's business.
It's just a means for me to make income. And y'all are consuming it. I want to give y'all cool shit that y'all like. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But you can guide people wherever you want to. And yeah, people do that shit. It's weird to me that people that spend so much time on there just expressing their life, showing their life, just to be showing it.
Yeah.
Without no desired outcome.
That is also some people's whole business model is that.
if it's a business model, fine.
Yeah.
You're making money, but there's a lot that ain't. Most aren't.
That's true, man.
Most aren't.
Most people are just
90%.
volunteering their misery for us.
Well, they're giving. It's a cycle. They're offering all of their information, their details, and their likes and dislikes for producers to identify who they can market
Who can market towards, yeah. Like what
Their
pages do you like? What did you like? What were you looking at on the internet? Because when you open up the next app, there's going to be an ad for it.
100%.
So many fucking
It might be my ad.
I was literally looking up grill ads, like grill videos, and now, dude, every time I open my fucking phone, it's an ad from Traeger.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, Jesus.
That's what's up, man.
So your supplements kind of break down to me because I like shrooms as well. Obviously, you talked about. By the way, was that a good experience? Halloween Horror Nights on MDMA and shrooms?
Yeah, it was cool, but like for me being on psychedelics, I'd much rather be chilling.
Yeah, because that's a lot. Universal Studios in LA.
Yeah, they're running out
staircase,
and they're running out and shit.
Ooh,
I'm like, calm down.
That's a brave choice.
But nah, it doesn't. It just calms me real heavy. Mm-hmm. It's like, calm down, bro. Like running out trying to scare people. Like, so it kind of inhibits the amygdala to an extent to where you don't really have fear. So like,
was everyone on your level that you went with?
No, I'm always on the highest level because I need a lot. You know what I'm saying? But everybody was on a level. You know. But I find more enjoyment like in small social settings on psychedelics.
What's your like go-to shroom strain?
I don't really have one. I'll do chocolates.
Oh, right? The chocolates. Okay. I got gummies for you. I got a gummy company.
Okay. Oh, dope.
Yeah.
I fucks with it. I prefer like MDMA on some social shit.
Yeah, I've never done MDMA.
It's the best.
I hear that it's great, but I'm always like worried about like I grew up my whole family is a bunch of drug addicts, so anything that's like I know there's versions of it that aren't in pill form. But anything that's like a pill, I just freaked out about.
All right, so what I do is a hard pressed pill, but my source, I get a pure MDMA.
Do you test it?
Nah, so I bought a whole kit, a spectrometer, all of that shit. But excuse me, that shit's complicated. You gotta have every drug that you want to test it against to be able to test it. And I don't know where to get heroin or meth and none of that shit. So my guy is legit. So
I'd just be worried about fentanyl, to be honest.
Yeah, no, my guy's legit. So there's people who, Molly, ecstasy, MDMA. MDMA is the active ingredient. Molly, I think, is cut with. We all say Molly for MDMA, but
it's
real
not the same
Molly
thing.
Is MDMA and heroin, and then ecstasy is MDMA and meth. You know what I'm saying? So Molly and heroin is supposed to be way better than MDMA, but you're gonna have some side effects and shit like that, and probably withdrawals. I've never had any of that. So with MDMA, you just happy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? The worst thing is you can't bust, you know what I'm saying, when you're smashing. You wake up fine. I go to the gym in the morning. Like, if I party, I got to get up early and go to the gym. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny that you said what you just said because Southside from 808 Mafia was talking about doing MDMA and then not getting pussy. And then I was like, well, do you jerk off? He's like, yeah. I was like, is it a better jerk? He's like, it's not a better jerk, but it is a longer jerk.
That's bizarre, bro.
I was like, all right.
But MDMA, but the best that I've taken, I haven't had in a long time, is LSD, lysergic acid. Yeah. That's more visual, like heavy visual, right? No, not necessarily. Well, this is what it does. So all of the classic psychedelics bind to the 2A serotonin receptor. They all do the same thing. But LSD binds more perfect than serotonin. You feel me?
Okay.
So it's a longer experience, and it's just now visually is like everything. Like I wear glasses. Right? I got my glasses on now because I have sensitive eyes.
Okay.
And my other glasses in the car, and they're tinted, but my vision is perfectly HD 8K on LSD. You just literally see better for one. The most I've seen visually is just distortions. But not like anything that wasn't there. Yeah, I did see one time. So one time I did do a heroic dose, right? Which is of what? LSD? Of LSD. That's a hero dose is like, for people who don't know, that's like if you want to change your life. It's very transformative, yeah. You did so how much is that? I don't even know what the measurement is, but I did an entire dropper where you only do a little bubble.
Right, you do like the little tab, and then
The
you did a
tab,
whole dropper.
You could do the tabs, which is the easiest way to measure it, or liquid, which you're supposed to dilute and then do it like that. But I never diluted it, but I knew how to get it enough. But this one day I did the whole drop.
So what happened?
The only thing I seen visually was the camera melting. But I'm sitting there looking at it like, I know that it's not melting, but it's fucking crazy that it looks like it's melting. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it was just like, it's very transformative in the sense that what it does is, now when you take this big dose, it's not euphoric like when you take a hit. You know what I'm saying? So that big dose, it tugs at your soul. You know what I mean? So things that are on your heart, it magnifies it. So if it's something, if you got some demons, you got to face that motherfucker. So I faced mine, and it was just like a relationship with a friend that I needed to fix. You know what I'm saying? And you have a sense of urgency to work on it.
How long did that last?
The
dose
that day?
Yeah.
The whole like 15 hours or so, 12, 15
I've always,
hours.
I've heard people doing hero's dose on psilocybin.
I can't imagine how you could do that.
I think
you have to eat so many
I think
fucking
it's
nasty ass mushrooms.
I think it's 3/8.
I don't know. I've eaten handfuls of mushrooms and never even come close to.
And then you always hear people talk about like ayahuasca and DMT being like,
Yeah, those are way different. So DMT will blast you off
for like
10 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're like not there.
You lose track of time. Yeah. Your eyes are rolling in the back of your head.
One of my best friends did DMT. He said that he got a job, was in a new relationship, and lived like 6 months of life in 20 minutes.
Yeah, your people think that they're gone for a long time.
Have you done that?
I've done DMT, but I never blasted off.
Okay.
So you gotta smoke it. I smoke.
You
got
gotta freebase it.
Vape. Yeah.
Yeah. The pen shit.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do
is
it.
not the way.
Yeah.
I hear.
But it knocks. It like 1 year on my birthday, I did LSD, shrooms, and I was puffing a DMT pen. And it was a good fun night. But it
sounds like it.
It wasn't nothing crazy. But just taking a hit of LSD is very euphoric. It's the best. You could sit there and do nothing and just be chilling like, man, this is good. I'm having a good time. Like listening to music and shit. You know what I'm saying?
On the vape.
No. On a hit of LSD.
Oh, okay.
Like a
normal LSD
recreational
hit.
amount. Yeah.
A normal LSD.
So one night, everybody came over for a fight. And I had taken shrooms and LSD. Everybody else just took shrooms. And so I'm good. I can't wait for everybody to leave. And I lay down and I put on, I've been wanting to watch that Lemonade album, all the videos from Beyonce.
Beyonce, yeah.
It take me a long time to get into shit. I don't want to watch shit when everybody talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that shit been sitting in my head for years. This night I watched it. Every fucking video. And I was like, this is, I respect this woman. And then I watched Jay-Z's 44-4, all his videos. It was a response to that. I'm like, wow. I was blown a fucking way. And then I watched the Nas documentary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, man, he's such a dope dude. Like, you just enjoy shit. You ain't rushing. Like, I can't sit and watch a bunch of videos back to back. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But on that, I watched and I had the time of my life. And I gained a newfound respect for all three of them. I always loved them. But it was just different then, and I was so inspired. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I do feel like you like I discovered this band called Tame Impala on shrooms.
Tame Impala.
It's one guy. They've
sounds real familiar.
So this guy is headlined Coachella. Like it's one dude who plays all the instruments. It's crazy. But I was in Joshua Tree at an Airbnb, and I don't even know how it came on. I think I searched like shroom music or something because I ate a lot, and I was in a fucking hot tub under the stars, and I was like, "Oh, this is the best song I've ever heard in my life. Who is this?"
Right.
There's some music that hits so fire.
Do you see shit when you take?
Nah. Yeah. I think I just really just get stuck like in my thoughts, in a good way and in a bad way. But I take that back. I took a bunch of edibles. And I ate shrooms, and I got drunk as shit in Austin. Me and Freddie Gibbs were out there. He did the Joe Rogan podcast, and I'm a big Joe Rogan fan. So we ended up hanging out with him again at night upstairs at Anton's comedy club, and I had these shroom chocolates, and I was like, "Yo, Joe," Like, you're the reason why low key I got interested in the shrooms. He's like, so it's only right. I'm gonna eat these in front of you.
Right.
So me and Freddie split the candy bar.
Joe didn't eat any?
No, he was like, no, I got a plan for this shit, man. He's like, I just don't fucking. He's like, it's a Tuesday night. It was a Tuesday night.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer. But he was cool as fuck. But so I was already off of fucking edibles, shit faced drunk, and I ate a bunch of shrooms. I split the bar with Fred, and then we went out bar hopping, and I feel like every time I get super fucked up on psychedelics and I go out, all the wild shit that would happen to somebody in real life that would suck if you were tripping always happens to me. So like there was this chick at this bar on 6th in Austin who was dancing for like 30 minutes straight, craziest cardio I've ever seen on a human being.
She must have been on some shit.
Oh no, she turned around and her face was it was like pixelated, like it was censored. Like it was censored on Cops. Like like back in the day you'd watch Cops and her face was censored.
Yeah.
Like it was just.
That's weird, bro. So that day when I took that heroic dose, he was with me, Andre Bertho, the boxer, he was with me, and then my old assistant. And bro, I would think she's the most righteous person here. But her face was weird as fuck. And nobody else's face was. I was like, hey, you good? I'm looking at her, she's looking at me like, I can't even tell you what was wrong with it, but there's something wrong with it. She's like, her normal cute voice. Yes, right. I'm fine, yep. I said, you sure? I said, come here real quick. I'm trying to see. And it's the same, like she's getting closer. I just had to turn, go somewhere. I even went and looked at myself in the mirror because they said, don't look at yourself, you're gonna freak out. I'm normal, but only her face. And she's a sweet person. I don't know what the significance of that was. You know what I mean? Because she's not a bad person, she's a great person.
Not your assistant anymore.
Nah, only because she moved on to bigger and
I thought that's
things.
where the story was going. I thought she was gonna be like, her face was melting. Sense. And 3 weeks later, I found out she was stealing from me.
Nah, never, none of that. She was she's a good friend of mine,
That's dope.
But I never told her that shit. I won't tell her that.
Yeah, well, they should watch this now.
She took LSD. Like one time, everybody in my office, we all took it. Like when we found out about it and shit, because you think you can't work, but you work better. You know what I'm saying? So we all took it, and she freaked out. Didn't work for her. I sat with her. I had a perfect high or whatever you call it. Perfect, but I had to tend to her for like 6 hours.
Well, I think it is one of the like rare things. Like psychedelics is like really a person to person basis, man.
Yeah,
because my wife will eat like a lot and not barely feel anything, and I'll eat the same amount and I'll be fucking sunk.
Yeah,
I'll be in the sunken place.
Speaking of Rogan, I went to see him in Irvine Improv, and I ate 2 chocolate bars, right? And he was fucking hilarious. I felt like he was on shrooms too. You know what I'm saying? And me and him was on a vibe. But this is weird. It was like not him. Everybody that came on stage looked fucking bizarre as shit, right? And he was like, this is him, but it's not. The texture of his skin was weird. Because, he's kind of short and like
a short
caveman vibe.
Very much, yeah.
But it was like intensified. You know
it's crazy how short he is. Like when you actually meet him and you don't realize like, oh, he's a short dude. Like he's,
right.
I mean, he's fucking built like a fucking tree, but.
I seen him maybe a month later, sober, looked like normal Joe Rogan.
Have you ever talked to him about maybe going on the show or anything?
No, I don't know. We have a couple people, mutual friends. But now I haven't had I would love to one day. Everybody would be like, you like the black Joe Rogan. I take that as a compliment, but I don't have a reason right now. You know what I'm saying? If it's a big project I have coming out or whatever,
maybe you drop a book or a documentary or something
exactly.
big.
And these are all things that I'm working on. So then I'll play that card, but I don't want to do it just to do it. I mean, I would if we could just keep rocking. You know what I'm saying? Because I fuck with him hard. You know what I'm saying?
I saw you had a bench press competition with Bradley Martin.
Yeah.
Who's also a big YouTuber.
Yeah. That's the homie.
Yeah, what's your like? How's he as a dude? Because I always see him like with Steve Will Do It and the Nelk Boys and shit. And
he's solid. He's solid with me, bro.
I know he's got a really dope gym in the Valley.
Yeah, we was cooler back in the day. But I just did this podcast like last week, and I just told him some real shit on the podcast. I said, "Yeah, man, we cool," but I felt like you kind of like used me a little bit, like. because my channel was up. He didn't even have a channel, and I was popping. And I seen he went to me for a while, then he went to this one and then that one. You know what I'm saying? Which
the Nelk boys really fucking
and I had to
owes
tell
them
him
a lot. Yeah,
I had to say this. I had to say it's not that you did anything wrong. You identified what was going to be beneficial for your acceleration in the space. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't do that. Like, my relationships with people are genuine. You know what I'm saying? And so that just kind of felt weird. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, a lot of people are like that, man.
Yeah, he took it well. We talked about it. We good. We solid. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I got love for him. I'm proud of him. He doing his thing. But he's solid, bro. He's solid. Here's one thing that was dope about him when he came around back then. It was like, it was so many people that wanted to like come get in videos and shit, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, well, come get down with us because we going to hell and back. And motherfuckers will come up late to try to be in part of it. And I'll be telling my video, like, don't have this nigga in there. You know what I'm saying? Just turn the camera off when he's doing this shit. Because, like, nah, you do all of this shit with us. You ain't got to be as strong, but put in the effort. You know what I'm saying? There was a guy, I remember a guy, because I don't really do it anymore, but people will fly in, pay $2,000 to train with me, shit like that, and be in a video. And I remember a guy quit, like, first 2 exercises, right? He just couldn't handle it. Yeah. And then, but I felt like he just wanted to get his picture with me and all that shit.
Yeah,
and
like
then,
he met you, he hung out, he got, okay, I get it.
And then he was like, yo, how can I get down with the squad? I was like, my nigga, you quit. Like, that's not what I do. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I'm so pure at everything I do. It's just weird when people are on that kind of shit around me. It's like, you didn't know, motherfucker? And I just feel like everybody's pure. You know what I'm saying? But most people aren't.
Hey, we got to stop the interview real quick to tell you about our family, our good folks at Odd Socks. You see me, look. These are them Odd Socks basics on my skinny white fucking legs. I love Odd Socks. Go to oddsocksofficial.com. You're going to get 20% off at checkout if you use the promo code BootlegKev. That's one word, BootlegKev. Now, they got Odd Socks, which are great. My favorites are the basics. They also, you got the licensed one. These are the Twizzlers. These are Baywatch socks. But then you got the basics. Now, these are what these are. Just the plain boys, man. They're so comfy, all right? I always got the white basics, the black basics on, and I always got Odd Socks underwear on too. They got the draws, all right? So what are you doing? Go to oddsocksofficial.com. Use the promo code BootlegKev. Save 20% off. Check out these fucking draws. Kool-Aid underwear, ladies and gentlemen. What are we doing? Oddsocksofficial.com. BootlegKev is the promo code. Save 20% off right now. Let's get back to the interview. Are you still eating only one time a day?
Mm-hmm.
What is like, because some people do the keto thing, some people are vegan, what would be, in your opinion, kind of like, obviously you're an expert in terms of bodybuilding, health, exercise, all that. What is do you think is the best diet?
It would depend on that individual. It'd depend on what you can sustain, what's sustainable for you. You know what I'm saying? It would depend on what works for your body. You know what I'm saying? It's so many variables. I will never say this is the way for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it feels like a diet thing is kind of like a not one size fits all at all, right?
It's not. And it's not rocket science either. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people in the space that overcomplicates the information for people, so they feel like they need to be with these people. I'm not doing that at all. I've never done that, so I'll communicate the information in a very digestible way, because that's how I need it to me. You know what I'm saying? I ask a lot of questions when I'm trying to understand something. So I think like that when I'm trying to educate people on certain things. In return, they kind of stay with you anyway, because they fuck with you, they respect you, they know that you're giving them good information. So, yeah, I never scare people with information. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're unhealthy, I'm like, you're gonna die.
Right. When you say you eat once a day, it's one meal a day. Like, will you have a protein shake? Will you have like a pre-workout?
It's one meal a day. Like today, I had a beef jerky and some piece of cheese on the way up here. I was just hungry.
Not a meal.
Not a meal. I'll have a meal probably when we leave here or get back to OC. But yeah, sometimes I do have a protein shake. Sometimes I have a shake around the time of my meal. But it's just one meal. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I do it is for like the body, our bodies. First of all, there's 2 killers. There's 2 epidemics, right, in this country, and it's not COVID. is heart disease and type 2 diabetes, right? And both of them, if heart disease and diabetes is a bullet, food is the gun. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
We get it by how much we eat and the shit that we eat, right? So I fast. Like, I do a fast once a week, every Wednesday, 24-hour fast. But I've always been
so every Wednesday you're fasting.
correct.
Okay.
So, but I fasted a lot throughout the years, right? I'm Muslim, not super religious, but it's still in the culture. I'm just used to it, you know what I'm saying? But I kind of came up with my own reasons for fasting outside of health purposes. But the health purposes is you're giving your digestive system a break, right? You're giving your brain a break, because people don't realize that 40% of the food or the energy that you're putting in your body is being used up by your brain. It's crazy. The brain is an expensive piece of real estate, and it's not the biggest, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So pound for pound, your brain's eating up using most of the energy that you're putting in your body. Now, with that, it's slowing down different mechanisms in the body. So if you got a little virus, a little infection, your immune system is not working as properly if you always full of food, because you have to digest that shit. With digestion, it's like it's like 4 or 5 different stages of digestion. So that's so much work that your brain got to do and your body got to produce. That's why people get tired when they eat. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So for me being a high octane person, always on the go with a lot of shit to do, I want to be at my optimal levels at all time. You're not optimized when you're full of food. You're not. You know, our ancestors, when they were hunters and gatherers, the motherfuckers ate a couple times a week, let alone a day. You know what I mean? And when they went out and hunted for food or searched or foraged for food or had to track a fucking elk for miles, they did it on an empty stomach. On an empty stomach, you have a heightened sense of awareness and alertness. You have more energy, all of these things. This is necessary in evolutionary biology because we have to survive. You know what I mean? It doesn't, you get a dump of pleasure sensors when you eat. So you're not trying to hustle. You're not trying to get after it.
Of course.
You eat, you chill, you relax. You know what I'm saying? It's a reward, so you can go and do it again when it's necessary. So, but when you're not, it feels uncomfortable, but you're operating better. Now, for me, I shift my perspective, right? I recalibrate my thinking. So I'm not uncomfortable when I'm not eating. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually more comfortable because everybody else is tripping out about having to find food. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need it, right? And my brain, I just think more clear. I make better decisions. You know, I don't have that brain fog. When I eat too much, like if a weekend I just go hard, I got brain fog on Monday. I'm saying a lot.
Will you do that like once a week at least? Just go in?
Not really.
Because you always hear, people have their cheat day. Maybe it's once a month, once a week.
It's such a setback for me. So here's another thing, bro. I have a different relationship with food. I don't look at food is not a pleasurable thing for me. It tastes good when I eat it, but I don't associate like.
You're not like a foodie.
Nah, I'm not at all. Food is just a means to an end. It's just fuel for my body. That's it. You put gas. I don't like gas, but I got to put it in my car to drive it. It's the same relationship with food, 100%. Even if I go out, nice restaurant, I barely eat. I'm drinking, you know what I'm saying, and having fun. I'm there for the vibes. I might eat a little salad, just something. When I eat, I'm not motivated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I eat, I want to kick my feet up.
But I mean, obviously, you're a big guy. You have a lifestyle that burns a lot of energy. So do you get? I mean, you obviously have a big meal once a day, and then like a protein shake.
Well, my meal is at the end of the day. So when you don't eat as often, you have better protein synthesis, right? So that means you have a better mechanism of your body breaking down protein, carbs, and fats and shuttling it to the right places that you actually need. It's no excess, right? So people actually build muscle better when they eat less. You know what I mean? Now, what you're used to seeing is people eating 5-6 times a day, so they're gonna build a lot of muscle regardless,
and snacking and
a lot of fat
day.
too. So, but
lots of chips.
Yeah, fuck all that shit. That's crazy. But
sorry, my friend over there is a vegetarian, and all he does is eat fucking noodles, chips, and cheese pizza.
Worst diet ever. So,
anyway,
but yeah, and then fasting in general, like your body does this thing called autophagy, and what it does is it's like it's like a starvation mode, right? And it start cleaning out all the dead cells. You know what I'm saying? It's a regenerative thing that I do once a week, you know. And I'm not sure if I reach autophagy during
that 1 day period.
Yeah. No, I know I do it in a 1 day period,
Okay.
but I'm not sure if I do it in my 1 day.
Throughout the day.
Once a day,
Yeah,
like 1 meal
you'll
a day.
eat at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I've slowed down my metabolism. So you always hear fast metabolism. That's healthy. It's no healthy or unhealthy metabolism. It's just efficient or inefficient. A fast metabolism is actually an inefficient metabolism. And if you look at across the fucking animal kingdom, the animals that eat the most live the shortest years. You know what I mean? Big cats, you know, the predators. Animals that live the longest, I mean, there's the predators too, but they eat very few times, like crocodiles, sharks. Shit, sharks live like 500 years. A Greenland shark can live 500 years. They have no reason to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, turtles don't eat shit and they can be 100 years old.
Right. You know what I mean? They eat once a year.
Right.
Once every X amount of months. You know what I'm saying? So, but they have extremely slow metabolisms. And you get that by eating less. It's simple. Now, if someone eats a lot and have a slow metabolism, that's a problem.
They're fat.
Yeah. Or if somebody eat once a day and have a fast metabolism, it's just not going to work. It's
right. So if you have a faster metabolism,
but you slow it down or speed it up depending on how you eat. My shit used to be like rapid fast when I ate a lot, but so I know like my size it would seem like how is it likely I can be 215, 220 on 1 meal a day? I used to be 250. You know what I'm saying? When I was eating a lot. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't healthy. Even though I looked great, I got my blood work, I was trending towards being pre-diabetic. 250 is 250. You don't give a fuck if it's muscles or not. You know what I'm saying? And I was eating fucking every 2-3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Spiking insulin, becoming insulin resistant. That's how we get diabetes. So I slowed that shit down. Just took matters into my own hands. Started going back to 1 meal a day. 'Cause I used to do it a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you say like your routine? Do you have a routine every day, or does it change? Because you're obviously a busy guy. You record content, but is there like I'm working out during these hours? Have my protein shake after you do a protein shake right after your workout, or
it depends on how I feel. So I do have a routine, and yeah, there's some variations. Like say if I come out to LA or whatever, but typically I'm at the gym at 7:30. Well, I get up around 5:30, 5 o'clock. I'll wake up. I'm out the bed 5:30. 5:45, I meditate first thing in the morning, and then I'll either sit and like read, or I'll play something and lay back down, like an audio book or something, or a video I wanted to learn about, and then I'm out the door, train, and then my little crew that we all train together early, and then we go sit in the sauna and just talk shit, whatever, and then from there, home, shower, get dressed, and I'm at the office. I'm either shooting content or we're in meetings or phone calls, just handling my shit during the day. And I'm usually there till about 6, 7. It depends on what I'm working on. Sometimes I'll just work from home if I don't have to shoot something. And then at the end of the day, it's kids or my own little time, shit like that.
What are some? I've seen you train with rappers like Jim Jones in Miami. Who are some of the artists that you've trained with that could hang with you a bit?
With effort, Jim Jones.
Jim?
Yeah.
He seems to take it very serious in terms of just
100%. Yeah. Jimmy would be out partying. He come balance that shit out in the gym. He a legit rock star.
Yeah.
But he stay on. If Jimmy wasn't training the way he do, he'd probably be very unhealthy and look like shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a beast on both ends.
Yeah, he's a beast, bro. I respect the hell out of Jim Jones.
It takes a lot to be a rock star because there's effort in that.
He's a rock star, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's that guy. You know
and then on top of that, to still have the discipline or find the energy to get up and hit the gym.
You have to, or you're gonna die unfun death. You know what I'm saying? We kill ourselves with the shit that we do for fun. So you try to balance it out with training and trying to eat right, you know?
Yeah, you were saying that, do you think, because I do think that, like we said earlier about diets, like it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Do you think there's negative drawbacks to people who cut meat and animal products out of their diet?
Yeah, I mean, there can be a deficiency in a lot of different nutrients, iron, protein, like you name it. However, there's supplementation. There's other ways to get these things.
Like if you're taking supplements, you can probably go to
Yeah.
like GNC and find stuff to kind of substitute.
Yeah, it's ways around it, but I think like it's all about balance. Cause I ate a vegan diet for a couple years.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I didn't think it was necessary. I wanted to try it just to see, and it was easy. You know what I mean? But I don't. I like meat, so I
love it.
I love it. So
Nothing like a steak.
or big fillet of salmon, blackened
Salmon,
Yeah,
if it's cooked the right way.
cooked the right way, exactly.
Yeah, salmon's got to be prepared right.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's like But what is obviously you have the supplement line. Where can people find that? I know it's online, but is it in any stores?
AmbrosiaCollective.com or at all the vitamin shops, about 1,000 stores throughout the country. So
That's a big look. Are you trying to get in GNC and?
nah, not really. They don't have the best terms, and my business is direct to consumer.
What about Get Yoked? There's I don't know if have you heard of Get Yoked?
I haven't.
You should try to get into Get Yoked. It's they have like a bunch of stores in the valley.
Oh, okay, it's actually stores.
It's an Armenian owned place. Their stores are fly.
A lot of times, if it's not a big retailer, I'm kind of spoiled. I'm with
Vitamin Shop's fucking huge.
Like the smaller retailers, it's like a lot to manage for not much money.
It's almost like the trade off is like not worth it. Like you'd rather just direct to consumer at that point.
That's where we make the money at. You know what I mean?
So Ambrosia is a full line of
this sports nutrition supplements. See, we come from it from a holistic approach. Fuck that. We come from it from a spiritual approach because every product that we put out is good for you. You know what I'm saying? So we max out on the science. We put a bag on ingredients that are new to get exclusivity deals. You know what I'm saying? We get third-party testing. We have GNC certification. So the highest of quality control we have. We've been doing since day one. So me and my partners, we had our other companies before this. So it wasn't like a money play. It was like a legacy play. Like, let's do the dopest fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? And make it affordable. So that's exactly what we did. And we wasn't worried about making money. We was just not wanting to lose money. But like after like a year or so, we doing taxes and we looking at sales. We're like, oh, that wasn't that bad for not even pushing it.
Right.
So when I came back here from Arizona, I sold my other company, went all in with Ambrosia, and we just
been killing it.
We started with like doing tours like United Kingdom, United States, Australia, all the English speaking countries, just hitting the ground, hustling, old school style, and that shit works. I was doing a lot of like my marketing is education on the ingredients and the importance of these products because they're hard to sell. It's not like just a fat burner. I have a fat burner now, but I barely put a fat burner out less than a year ago. You know what I'm saying? I've been in business for years. So I went backwards doing really complicated products that it's not easy to sell, but it made me a beast with marketing because, and it gave me a lot of credibility with my fan base because I'm educating them on these ingredients.
You're not selling them bullshit either. It's like
not bullshit at all. So, we stand by everything. Like we have codes you could scan to see which batch this came off of and the testing, this, that, and the third. So a lot of people ain't doing that. So these people are smart nowadays. You know what I'm saying? It's not 100% necessary to go to that extent, but the fact that we go to that extent, it gives us a lot of credibility, and in return, it gives us a lot of respect amongst our peers, which I value. And in turn, the sales come in.
So you have protein.
I mean, you name it. I have protein.
You have a whole line of supplements. So what would be your let's say like a big brand like Ghost, right? What's like a difference between like what everyone else is doing and what you're doing in terms of just ingredients?
I don't know what Ghost is doing ingredient wise.
That's just an example.
But but I think what they're doing marketing wise is really cool.
No, they're killing it. And I love their energy drinks.
They got a dope energy about their business, about the marketing, the branding, and I fucks with it. I love marketing. I love people being
their
innovative. Branding
is crazy.
I love people being innovative about their shit. Like mine, I take a whole different approach. My shit is more like Illuminati vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like there's little encrypted messages on labels. Even when you pick it up, you feel it's embossed with hieroglyphics.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Everything means something. And then I name products based on just different places of the world because I want to include everybody. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of like just like Window is a Swahili word for movement, and that's a joint support product.
Wow.
Planta is plants in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Pachamama is my coffee. That's Mother Earth, like in Peru.
You get your own coffee?
Yeah, I got a coffee. And listen, even that high level, so it's single. We buy it from. We source our coffee beans from one family, a farm in Peru. You know what I'm saying? Because most coffee nowadays is like hot dogs. It's just like shitty beans from wherever. You know what I'm saying? Like hot dogs is just a bunch of mixed up meat from whatever.
From whatever animal.
Ours is single source from one family, one farm. So we've been getting from them for years. So we feel good about that. So to honor them, we named the coffee Pachamama, something Peruvian. You know what I mean? So just being mindful of the world that we live in and, you know, and making people feel included. You know what I mean?
That's dope. I wanted to ask you, before you get out of here, you're somebody who's got so much going on, and sometimes I get to the point where I'm like pushing myself so much in terms of just things that I got my hands in at the same time, that it can become exhausting and like sometimes take a toll on like the personal side of my life.
Yeah.
How do you deal with managing so much?
Yeah, so I'm over that hump now. So, you know, previously it was like, man, it was like I didn't have nothing to give nobody.
Yeah, it's like because your day's over and you just finished.
So now it's a little different, man, because things are automated. Ambrosia, it had to sit on my shoulders for a couple years. It has a life of its own now. I barely do content for Ambrosia anymore. It's such a machine.
It's its own brand now.
It's a business,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my face is not on the labels. Like my very first company, I had to put me on there so people know it's me, so they buy it. But that's a cheap trick to get sales, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't want that for this. So I just wanted to be like from A to Z, be excellent with everything, like the marketing, the names of products, like what's in it, the ingredients, the taste, like everything had to be on point. So it's its own entity now. You know what I mean? It's a beast. And we constantly have VCs courting us, trying to throw big millions of dollars at us to be a part of it, to buy a piece.
Buy a piece of it.
Yeah.
What about how often do you shoot content? Like, do you ever just stack it and then say, cool, I got enough shit for the next month?
I have a ton of shit. So it's shit that I'll see an ad I forgot that I did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You'd be like, oh shit, that shit was a while ago.
Yeah. So it's a lot of shit. So, but I'm always, when I think of, I don't like be forcing myself to shoot shit. I like to let the creativity come naturally. You know what I mean? Or if I'm inspired by something, I'll go and record. But I'm not forcing myself to shoot on a particular schedule. You know what I mean? But I am trying to get more consistent with the podcasting because I really enjoy that. You know what I mean? So, and I can share the creativity by having a conversation with somebody else. It ain't just me coming up with everything.
Right.
So, but yeah, but with that, and honestly, the thing that I like doing the most professionally is stuff for other people. Because I also have like a small media company in which, you know, I help people launch YouTube channels and all kind of shit. So I like doing that.
Yeah, you've been doing the YouTube thing for a while.
Yeah,
I mean, and
years.
the social media thing.
Yeah,
it's crazy too because like I think I might have been following you already, and I saw somebody from Arizona post you, and then I was like, oh shit, that's Sin Q.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what happened to Sin Q? And now I know.
Yeah.
Because you were like just literally disappeared off the map.
I did. Yeah. I did.
Because Man Up Squad was that was like prior to Willie signing with DTP, right?
Yeah. And then he got in, he got on. He was still, you know, Willie, that's like my little bro, you know what I'm saying? And the connect, ask him, that was me. That was my story. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, you know what I mean?
God, let me tell you something. I was doing radio in Boise, Idaho, 2009 when that album came out, and I bought 10 copies from the record store. Love you, Willie. Wasn't the strongest body work.
Yeah, but you know what?
But it was a moment for our
listen.
state. It was a moment for AZ.
I used to tell him, like, bro, what the fuck you doing in Arizona? Get out of here. Go to Atlanta.
He should have moved to Atlanta.
I told him.
He had Tiffany managing him.
Go hang out with Scrap. Go be in the club. I'll send bread out there so you could just grease the DJs, whatever. Do what you gotta do. Play the game. But he wanted to be a big fish in a small pond. And I get it. I guess, like,
Also, like he had like a record like Hood Dreamer with B.O.B., which was a little before its time because B.O.B. hadn't really popped yet.
That shit was dope though. He had some shit.
He had some good records. Body Marked Up's a classic.
Classic. The dude is talented, but I remember that they was pushing so hard, so fast to drop that album. I'm like, I think they fucking up. They're gonna drop an album, but ain't nobody gonna fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? I think the timing wasn't right, and I think just spiritually, my guy wasn't in a good space. You know what I'm saying?
The good classic era of AZ hip hop. There was Carly Hustle had the Street Heat of the Week. Yep. Shout out to Carly. There was Expose magazine. Yep. Were you ever on the cover of Expose? I feel like everybody was eventually.
I'm pretty sure I was. I know I was. Yeah.
I was on the cover once.
I didn't like it because it was around the time that all the shit was happening. Like legally,
they were like, "Damn, this magazine's getting circulated, and I'm fucking going through it."
Having videos pulled off of YouTube, like, "Yo, take this shit down." Like, you know what I'm saying? That was a scary time for me.
A scary time. Yeah. You still have children at AZ, or you have
just one daughter? I got my son, my 16-year-old lives with me, and my 6-year-old lives with me. And my 15-year-old daughter lives in Arizona.
She go back often?
Yeah, I go out there. She comes out here too, but right now she's in dance, so I got to go out there. It's all summer. So
I'm surprised you just didn't get the giant mansion out there.
I don't like Arizona, bro.
It's just hot as fuck, man.
And I don't want to be like killing it in Arizona. That's not impressive. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
I want to kill it out here.
It's not impressive.
Yeah.
That's why you think I'm fucking here.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Like Charles Barkley and his son's jerseys behind you. I'm wearing a Diamondbacks hat, but I'm not going back.
It's all good.
I go back and visit. I DJ. I see my family, but I'm never moving back.
I will move back like when I'm older.
Yeah. I mean, like Valley. In the peak of my life, I'm not living in Phoenix. When I retire, I might retire in fucking, Paradise Valley or some shit, but I'm not fucking...
Like, for the record, it's fucking beautiful up there.
It's great.
You know what I'm saying? I was in Paradise Valley before I left, but I'm with old people, like all old
It's
people.
A great place to get comfortable.
I'm not there.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought. Remember I said I was going to buy this big-ass house. I was like, why would I do that right now? I got so much shit to do, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest, shit was getting kind of stagnant for me while I was there. You know what I'm saying? Opportunities, creativity, all kind of shit.
And you were in Miami for a sec, right?
Yeah, and then I was back and forth, Arizona, Miami. So Miami was popping, but
So right now you have your headquarters are in Orange County.
Yep.
You got a team that just works with you on everything.
Yep.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
What's inspiring?
Ain't shit without my team.
Of course.
You know it ain't my team, it's the team. Like we all. You know what I'm saying? Equal units.
100%.
How I see it.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna just keep expanding. You say you're working on a book, maybe?
Yeah, I've been writing a book for years, but
your book's gotta be crazy.
I'm a good writer.
You'll know when it's time to drop it too.
I'm a good writer, but I'm not a disciplined writer. So I haven't written. Now I wrote a couple weeks ago, but it's sparse. You know what I'm saying?
Also, if you just tell your story about your life, could be a movie, low key.
I mean,
the On The Run shit?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Selling dope, going on the run? Hey, if Pain and Gain is a fucking movie with Mark Wahlberg and The Rock.
Was that a real story?
I don't know. I think it was loosely based on, I think it was.
Okay. That's dope.
But
I've been meaning to rewatch that. Man, put your stomach away, bro. Come on, man. Have some.
I feel you, bro.
We ain't rolling like that today, baby.
Sometimes you got to let that gut hang, man. There it is. Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming through, man. Go follow this guy. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go buy some supplements. Ambrosia.
Yes, sir.
The pre-workout's mushroom-based?
Yes, it is. Adaptogen. So, Kinetic is the world's first mushroom-based pre-workout. Tastes amazing. You get just good, pure energy. But it also, adaptogens help you adapt to stress better. You know what I'm saying? Stressful situations. So it's bomb. Bro.
I know people who take like a microdose before they work out, like legit. Like I'm like psilocybin. Yeah. Like
I don't. Microdose is a waste of mushrooms for me.
You're a fucking beast. This guy's like, I did a hero's dose of LSD.
I'm gonna be a gorilla. You know what I'm saying?
You went to fucking Universal Studios where people are jumping out dressed as monsters on on MDMA and shrooms.
MDMA and shrooms. Yep.
Yeah, you're a wild boy, man.
Hey, Kel, I want to say to you, man, I'm proud of you, bro. Like, to seeing people from the hometown come up and killing it.
Dude, I used to.
Out here, of all
I don't know if you
places.
remember the night y'all took over Friday Night Flavors with Matlock.
What happened? Did something happen?
It was no. It was just like a cool moment, and I was there. I was like just hanging out as an intern.
Right.
It was I want to say it was like you, Willie.
I remember that night.
Ocean was there. Shout out to Ocean. Shout out to my guy Khalik. Yeah, I forgot. Ocean was in Man Up Squad.
Yeah.
Damn, y'all had it lit.
Yeah.
That fool's like a fighter now. Like he be fighting and shit, you know. And
it's like wrestling, right?
Yeah, and he does the illustrations. He's
like WWE type.
Yeah, shout out to Khalik. But yeah, no, it was crazy because y'all like just took over the radio for like 2 hours.
Right.
With I think it was Matlock, Squeak Boogie.
They show love, but I was moving so wild. You know what I'm saying? I blocked a lot of blessings, bro. I was in rooms with some powerful people. You know what I'm saying? At that time.
Hey, but honestly, bro, the journey has led you to this.
100%.
And it's as crazy as it sounds, not the most rewarding gig to be a mid-level successful rapper.
Right.
Because most rappers sign shitty record deals and then they end up in this all worked out for you, man?
Nah, for sure. If I would have made it back then, I probably would have destroyed myself. Like I was too real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember I'm with K Slay, talking shit to him, slapping money out. You know what I'm saying? Just doing dumb shit. Like I used to be so like unhinged. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so you were like throwing money in K Slay's face?
Nah, we was doing an interview.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you slap your favorite DJ, I slap your favorite rapper, like throwing stacks out.
Amazing.
And shit. I would go to New York to pick up money, and then while I was there, like Lil Sean or whoever,
Sean was at Shit 45.
Had me come through all the little radio shits, and you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I was living the life, but without a deal. You know what I'm saying?
Without a deal.
There it is,
man. Well, appreciate you pulling up.
Thanks for having me, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fire.